This is quality content. Dude is my age. Marcus is my age, and he's got like 50 years of fucking experience.
Because what the fuck out of her chest.
Louis Armstrong was the midwife that helped birth ska from the cloaca of punk.
You guys heard it here first at LTN Media. There's packs of wild stray dogs that control most of the major cities. Anytime you just hear, almost the lava. It's like, oh shit, it's about to go down.
Welcome, nerds, freaks, and fucks, to Less Than Normal, reminding you that colon health is full body health. Chris?
Jesus Christ. I never know how to follow these, but hello everyone and welcome to Less Than Normal. I am Chris. Joined with me as always is Bree and Dave. This will be the first full episode with our new layout. That we definitely didn't do in the middle of the show last week.
We didn't
do it in the middle of the show last week.
We did it at the end of the show.
No, we didn't do it at all last week.
Oh, that's right. It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, I know it's been so sporadic for us these past couple months. We've all had like shit going down. Some of
Life.
us literally, apparently.
Down, down, baby.
Oh my god, just break out some old school Nelly. While I have REO Speedwagon playing in my ears right now.
See, I think older than Nelly, because I know that from fucking Big.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Zach.
What's up,
Zach? How you doing, baby?
As always, before we get the show started, I do want to give a shout out to my friends over at Miles on Motorsports. That is a good squad of people. You can hear me tonight at some point talking about racing. Let me put a link in the chat here. How has everyone's week been? Don't all answer at once.
Yeah.
Contain your excitement.
Dealing with stupid people.
Oh yes.
But that's the world of customer service.
It's probably a bit of both, Zach.
He should be better now.
I will make it up to you.
And I should be better-ish now. Yeah.
Zach says better.
I have to fix audio on my side. Is that too loud now? Am I too loud? I might have to go down.
No, you're fine.
All right. Zach, if you know how to like fix my computer, not like making my audio level change for my microphone, that'd be super. Like if you know, like that'd be cool because I always have to go into settings and adjust my microphone's volume because it was at 56 and I was like, I don't know why it's at 56. That feels a little quiet for me.
Yeah, no, mine started doing that again too.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix that. Yeah, so what do you say? I guess we just get right into things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so dumb. We have a new number 1 at the top of the box office this week.
You know what? It's about fucking time.
Do we have any guesses as to what it could be?
What came out last?
Jesus, the Heart of Hearing.
Despicable Me 4. It's Despicable Me 4, isn't it? Once he gets back. It's
Am
Despicable
I
Me
back?
4, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, it is. Opening weekend for Despicable Me 4 landed at the number 1 spot, 75 million. This weekend, it looks like worldwide it did way more than that. Um, Inside Out 2 is at number 2 on this list, and its 4th week did 30 million. Quick shout out, that movie did over $1 billion so far,
It's the
which
first
is
movie since Barbie to do so.
yeah, that movie. Listen, do not underestimate the powers of millennials and Disney movies. Uh, Number 3 is A Quiet Place Day 1. In its 2nd week, it did $21 million. That movie's grossed over 100 million worldwide, so I would say a successful prequel. Number 4 is Maxine. In its opening weekend, did 6.7 million. Number 5 is Bad Boys Ride or Die. 5th weekend in, it did 6.7 million. Yeah, The Fall Guy is still on this list
It's not
at
even
number
still in
10.
theaters.
It has been
Or
in
it's
it
not
has
in
been
any
in
theaters near
theaters
me.
for 10 weeks, and it did 871,000. Dude, right, Zach?
Same,
I feel
Zach.
that. I feel that. Like I could take.
So I'm
I could take
looking
more
at
of
a
that.
chart for these for today's numbers.
Yeah.
Oh no. This is for July 2nd is the most up to date numbers. So on July 2nd, which was the Tuesday after Despicable Me 4 came out, it
Yeah.
made $15 million in one day.
That's absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inside Out 2 made $5 million that day. A Quiet Place Day 1 made $3 million. Bad Boys Ride or Die made $900,000. Horizon almost $900,000. Sound of Hope 650,000. The Bike Riders 196. Kings of Kindness 166. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Garfield movie. The Fall Guy made $81,000 in that one day.
It's been out for over 2.5 months, and it's still making money. This must be a good movie.
It is a very
Furiosa.
good movie.
It's so the fucked up thing is so gross. The Fall Guys made like 92 million, right?
Yeah.
Inside Out 2 is made 543 million. Domestic. These numbers are all domestic, not international.
Right. That's crazy. We have a couple new movies coming out this weekend. One of them is called Long Legs. It is a horror movie where Nicolas Cage plays a fucking serial killer, and the trailer looks amazing. No, it's like Silence of the Lambs level Buffalo Bill, but crazier and more intense.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
This movie feels like Silence of the
me.
Lambs, but way more intense.
I've been waiting for Nick Cage to do a horror movie that wasn't 8mm.
Yeah.
According to early reactions I've gotten of this movie, is that even people who are not scared of horror movies, I've heard from people that like this freaked them the fuck out.
Yeah.
And I'm not scared of most horror movies, so any horror movie that can literally make me like, yep, I gotta go, I'm here for.
Yeah, like nothing scares me at this point with horror movies. I've seen them all. Like they don't bother me. It's funny. I was texting Bree. Was it last week? A friend of mine told me to watch this movie that he said was the scariest movie he's ever seen, and I was like,
"Oh, Immaculate."
No, I've seen Immaculate.
What was it?
What was it? Oh my god! But it was.
No, it was Talk to Me.
Thank you. Talk to Me. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, when does this get scary?
It's
you said talk to me, and now
Ooh, talk to me.
Oh, no. I'm thinking the Steve Lynch song where he goes, "Talk to me, Dad. No,
yeah,
I didn't hear you enter. No, I didn't hear the door. With my hand upon my member and my pants upon the floor. Now burnt into your brain is an image you despise, like blood and guts and starving kids and Stevie Wonder's eyes."
Anywho. And then we have Fly Me to the Moon coming out as well. This is a movie that has Scarlett Johansson, Channing Tatum, Woody Harrelson, Ray Romano. It looks like a biopic of some sorts. I've seen the
Well,
preview
if it's
for
called
it. I
Fly
don't
Me to the
remember.
Moon and it's a biopic, it should be about Frank Sinatra, who sang Fly Me to the Moon.
Or it's about the space program.
You know.
Which is that's what it looks like. I've seen the trailer for it.
Okay.
I
was real excited until you said, wait, you said Woody Harrelson, not Woody Allen.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson. So you should still be excited because it's Woody Harrelson.
It's Woody Harrelson, not Woody Allen. Yeah.
It's a biopic. Sparks fly between a marketing executive and a NASA official as he makes preparations for the Apollo 11 moon landing.
Yeah.
Okay, but can we make Channing Tatum sing Fly Me to the Moon?
I kind of want to see that.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars.
I fully believe Dave says things just so he has the ability to sing a song on the show.
No. You said Fly 100%. Me to the Moon first.
I know, but I feel like
I've wanted to sing it since you said those words.
Yeah. Any chance Dave has to sing on the show?
Dave likes to sing.
Oh, Chris likes to sing too. We are a couple weeks away from Twisters, and we are a week away from Twisters, and we are 2 weeks away from Deadpool and Wolverine, which we will definitely be talking more about next week.
Is Bill Paxton coming back for Twisters?
Dave, Bill Paxton is dead.
Oh.
Yeah, no. Twisters,
so no.
It's not, it says it's not a remake. It says that it just takes place within the same universe, kind of.
It's essentially a reboot.
Yeah, it has Glenn Powell, Anthony Ramos, and I can't remember the main actress.
Daisy Edgar Jones.
That's it.
Okay. Question number 2.
Oh, I've seen her.
Can it take a sci-fi bent and we get a weather machine and some sort of like Superman-esque villain trying to take over the planet by controlling the weather? But then at the last moment, Bill Paxton's ghost shows up and saves everyone?
I mean, that sounds like a great plot, but 100% what this movie is just a modern telling of the original movie. With new technology.
But the original's good. It doesn't need a modern telling because guess what? The technology really hasn't changed much.
Neither did fucking Mean Girls, Dave, but we got one, and it was a musical. Also, you know what else it became a musical this year? The Color Purple.
That was last year.
You know what?
It's the same fucking thing, Bree.
You may be getting Schindler's List, the musical. I would try to pitch that now before someone takes it.
You know what? Yeah.
And then we have Wicked that comes out at the end of the year.
All right, but like Wicked's totally different. Well, that's because the original is timeless. The Mean Girls 2, yeah. I have heard it's funny. So like I've heard mixed reviews on Mean Girls, the remake of Mean Girls.
No. They're talking about Mean Girls 2, the sequel that came out in like 2000 and like whatever.
Yeah, the one that we all forget exists. It's real fucking bad.
It just has a bunch of Disney people in it for no reason.
Oh my god.
Also, welcome Nick. Your name seems familiar and I don't know why.
Yeah, it's my friend Nick.
Oh, okay. Is that why I've seen the name before?
Yes, former intern at LTN Media.
Okay. Oh, hey, what's up, man? That's why the name looks familiar.
But yeah, no, I probably will see Twisters because I loved the original.
I loved the original too. I will probably see Twisters.
I want to see Sexy Cowboy Glenn Powell. That's the only reason.
Obviously,
There weren't
once
cowboys in Twister.
Yes,
they're
but
in the
this,
There
fucking
were
Midwest,
roughnecks.
man.
That's different.
well, in this one, he wears a cowboy hat. Therefore, he is sexy cowboy Glenn Powell.
Hey, speaking of the original movie, you know who else is probably not going to make a cameo due to certain reasons? Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Isn't he dead?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
all
he
the
played
actors
Rabbit. Rabbit, or no,
Yeah.
he didn't play Rabbit. He played Rabbit was the guy who was also on Spin City.
Yeah, I can't think of the character's name. Dusty.
But he says Dusty, yeah, because he says
Dusty.
Rabbit is good, Rabbit is wise.
Yes.
And he always seems
What
like
up,
he's
Jay?
stoned out of his mind. What's up, Jay?
Obviously, as we get closer to it, we will be discussing more on Deadpool and Wolverine. Because for those that don't know, this might as well be a Marvel podcast. We haven't had much Marvel to talk about, but we do today.
Just later on.
In a little
We'll have to
bit, Bree, do you have a movie review?
I will
Yes.
try to make
Yeah,
it
exactly,
quick.
Nick. Yeah. We could try
Hang
to
on.
Tupac this shit. Like, but to just get a
We have the
hologram.
technology.
We brought Governor
will try
Tonkin
to-
back for a fucking Star Wars movie 40 years after he died. So I don't see why we couldn't make it happen. But yes, Bree, you have movie reviews or a movie review.
I will try to keep these quick because
We
do
now have
3
that
of
forever,
them.
by the way, Chris.
I know it's terrific.
The first one is, and fair warning, I have never sounded more like a film student and a movie critic more than I am for these 3 movies.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I'm here for it.
A Quiet Place Day One is my first movie review, and in movies there are 3 different kinds of. There's action based, there's character driven, and then there's story driven. This is a very character driven movie. There's
Okay.
not a lot that happens. It is basically just you meet certain characters, you go on a little adventure with them, and there happens to be aliens that are trying to murder them. But because the performances are so good, because it's Lupita Nyong'o, who's great in every single thing that she's ever done,
We love
and
Lupita.
Joseph Quinn. And then Joseph Quinn is also in this, Eddie from Stranger Things. And our future Johnny Storm. They both give such great performances that you kind of don't care that there's not a lot going on, as long as you like the characters. If you don't care about the characters, you're not going to have a good time. This movie is definitely not for everyone, because the first 2 have been very character driven, but they've also had a lot of action to keep the audience entertained. This one, not so much. But the sound design is incredible, because in my theater, it was basically a packed theater, and you could hear a nickel drop in there. Not a nickel, a pin drop. You could hear a pin drop with how quiet everybody was trying to be. Some people accidentally got like nachos prior to, and you could literally hear them trying to be so quiet. The only negative I can think of is, like, for a prequel, it doesn't expand upon, you don't learn anything new about the creatures. It doesn't expand upon the world and like all of that. But because we are focused on Lupita's character and Joseph's character, mainly Lupita's, you don't learn a lot about Joseph's, but you still really enjoy him. But based on just everything you learn about Lupita's character, you are all in for this movie. It is definitely a must-see if you like character-driven stories.
Right.
The CGI of the creatures is still as incredible as it was in the first 2 movies. It might actually look better in this.
I would hope so. It's newer.
Yeah.
That's not always the case.
Oh, no, I know. Look at Doctor
That
Who
is
when they
also
went from
true.
practical effects to digital effects and then back to practical effects.
It's like, fuck, this doesn't work as good as the other shit. What up, Viking?
But yeah,
What's up, fan?
I can't think of anything else to say without like spoiling anything for A Quiet Place. So go see it. Oh, Alex Wolff is in this movie. Didn't realize
No
it was
shit.
him when I watched it. I was like, wait, I thought Alex Wolff was supposed to be in this movie. The character he plays does not look anything like him, so I was confused when I left, but it didn't take me out.
He plays
too
the
much.
creature.
No, he plays a human. It just doesn't look anything like him. But he
Alex
does give
Wolff
a
and
really
his
good
big
performance
fucking
as well.
mole.
I don't even know if I could see the mole. I don't remember.
I don't even know I can see the mole. I don't know how you can't. It's pretty big.
I know.
You know what else is pretty big?
I don't know. What, Dave?
My butt. I have a big butt coming. Okay. So look, you said one thing that kind of like to me is a cardinal sin in storytelling. The only reason to do a prequel is to give access to information. That's the only reason to make a prequel and not a sequel. If you just want to introduce new characters, make a sequel. So that I have thematically I have a problem with, right? Because like even Borderlands, the pre-sequel, which is a prequel to Borderlands 2, but a sequel to Borderlands. It comes between Borderlands 1 and 2. Anyway,
it came out King 1.5.
Of video games. Yes. But that whole story is going back and explaining who Handsome Jack was and is and why he is the way he is in 2.
Right.
Right? It's information we otherwise wouldn't have had access to without more story. Yeah. But people like Handsome Jack so much, they figured it warranted explanation, so they gave it in the form of a very poorly received game compared to other games in that franchise. Still did well, but you know.
Yeah. Well, what
it's like being the worst Marvel movie is still better than pretty much all of the DC movies.
That's true.
So like
what
if you're going to be the worst of something, be the worst of the best.
Yeah.
This movie was based off of a short story from John Krasinski because he directed and wrote the first one. So, like, this movie was based off of a short story that he had. Yeah. I don't know if it needed a full movie, but, like, I still enjoyed it, even though you don't really learn anything new. Oh, right. The one thing I did want to say, because I remember Chris has said something similar. This movie takes place in New York and shows the day that the aliens come. It is very reminiscent of the imagery on the screen is very reminiscent of a certain event that happened in New York from videos and images I've seen. So if that is triggering to you, just fair warning. And it's about 10, 15 minutes of the movie, but that I meant to mention that is that it may.
You don't need to eggshells. You realize that event is older than you, right?
No, it's not.
It's about the same age.
Same age.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, it's very the scenes and the imagery is very reminiscent of 9/11. So if that is triggering to you, fair warning. But yeah, so then switching gears to a children's movie. Despicable Me 4, which I've been trying to think of how to review this movie over the last couple days since I've seen it, because it's like, how do you review a kids movie? Because it's a movie meant for kids. So I don't know.
Were the little yellow dungaree chaps in it?
Yes.
You can't have a Despicable Me movie without
10 out of 10. Best film this year.
Yeah.
Moving
on.
on.
The Minions are the best.
The Minions are great.
So, positives, which my mom, for some reason, thought this was a negative. I don't think she understands how voice acting works. Will Ferrell is in this movie. You would not know it was Will Ferrell.
Is he really?
Yes, and he has a French accent, and it's really good. It's very well done voice acting because for voice acting, if you're gonna hire like a big name actor, they shouldn't always just sound like themselves.
Unless you're hiring Lewis Black to play Anger because you want Anger to sound like Lewis Black. That's why you hire Lewis Black.
So yeah, she walked out the theater and was like, I just had a problem with the fact you couldn't tell it was Will Ferrell. And I'm like, no, that's a good thing because that means he gave a really good performance because she said he was in the movie. And then I'm watching the movie and I'm like, which one of these motherfuckers is Will Ferrell? So yeah, it's a very good voice acting performance. Other positives, the Minions are still great because they're the Minions. If you've seen the trailer, they introduced a baby between Gru and his wife Lucy. That baby sold the entire show. I love that baby.
I love that baby.
Was great. That baby was
I'm gonna get me that baby. That baby will be mine. Oh no, I think I just wrote a plot for Despicable Me 5.
Kidnap the baby.
Kidnap, get me that baby.
Sorry, Brie, go ahead.
No, you're good. This isn't a spoiler because it's in the trailers, but that baby was not fucking with Gru. That baby hated Gru, and it was the best part because that baby was like, "What?" That baby kept looking at his mom like, "Why do you keep leaving me with this man? I don't want to be here. Take me with you." Well,
that is terrific.
The negatives, where the negatives is where it's like it's a kids movie, so it's like take these with a grain of salt. I would have it ranked at like the bottom. I think this is definitely the weakest out of all 6 of the movies within the Despicable Me universe because there is a main plot going on, but like the beginning of the movie and the end of the movie is the main plot that's going on. Everything in the middle is just a collection of scenes that don't have anything to do with the main villain story that's going on. So they're entertaining scenes, they're funny scenes. It's just there are these random events that keep happening that have nothing to do with the rest of the stuff. This isn't really a negative. It just bothered me so much. Agnes, the youngest daughter of the Despicable Me universe, has been recasted 3 times. In the original, the first 2 movies, the first 2 movies is the same person. The third movie, it's a different girl, but you can't tell. This movie, you can 1,000% tell that it's not the same little girl. It is not the same voice at all. And every time that kid spoke, I was like, it took me out of the movie because it's so obviously not the same person.
Right.
Like she went from "It's fluffy" to "Daddy and Mommy, can I do?" And I'm like, she's not 4. Or
yeah, how old is she supposed to be?
I think like 6. I'm not.
I would imagine at this point she's probably older.
They don't age. They have not aged. Fair. Even though
the cartoon
if you look
people
at the plot, there's a
fucking Bart Simpson's almost as old as I am, motherfucker. In real people numbers, fucking he's still 10. He's been 10 for over 30 years.
Yeah. Fair.
6. Thank you, Angel.
Thank you, Angel.
Hi, Angel.
So yeah, it's not a bad movie. It's a movie for kids, and kids will get a kick out of it. So that's why I was having such a problem because it's like, do I review it as a movie for kids or do I review it as a movie, just a movie in general? It's still it's not a terrible movie.
So it brings up an interesting talking point, though, and that is something that I've started doing in my own editing. For this same reason, people's attention spans are shit. TikTok and YouTube shorts haven't helped. So you constantly need something new and different to look at. Hence the fact that the whole fucking movie could probably be consolidated into a 30-minute fucking episode of a cartoon for plot stuff, except nobody'd watch it because 30 minutes is too long to pay attention to the same thing. So, but the thing is, it only makes it worse.
Right.
And I'm part
Like,
of the problem. I changed my editing style completely to kind of cater to that understanding, because I want people to watch my shit.
So I feel that.
I was in a theater full of kids and stuff, and there was only one kid who was like running around and not interested in the movie. The rest of the kids seemed like they laughed, they were into the movie.
Oh, yeah.
So,
well, that's what I'm saying. The movie is built in such a way that it's constantly grabbing their attention with something new.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, I mean, that's, I guess a good way to do it. Plus, again, it's a children's movie. Let's be real. Did any of us really sit through movies when we were really young?
I did. First movie I saw Critters in theaters with my mom, and I thought the little fuzzy monsters eating people was hilarious, I guess.
it is a funny ass movie.
I mean, I did a little bit, but I got to a certain point where that's when I did. Like, I didn't when I was like 4, but I watched it
I remember
later,
being 4.
That's horrifying.
Yeah.
I don't remember yesterday.
No, dude, it's weird.
That's not
I
weird.
remember shit from when I was like 2. Not very many things, but there are a couple of things I remember from when I was like 2.
I have a couple early memories, yeah. Well, did you see 3 movies you said, Bree?
Yes, my last movie review, I'm going to try to keep it short, but I'm going to, because this movie, it's Maxine. It's the third movie in a trilogy, and I'm not sure how many people are familiar with the first 2 movies. They came out.
What are the first 2 movies?
Came out, X and Pearl. They both came out in 2022.
Oh, yeah. Only one I've seen out of that is X.
Okay, so I will try to keep this short while doing a explanation of each of the so Maxine is like I said, the third movie in a trilogy, the first 2 being X and Pearl, all 3 directed by an horror director, Ty West, who I had heard of, but I had not seen any of his movies prior to. But because of this trilogy that kind of came out of nowhere, like I didn't see any previews for X, I didn't see anybody talking about X, and prior to it coming out. Then it came out and everybody was talking about it. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go see this movie. The first one is like it takes place in the 70s. It is very Texas Chainsaw inspired, but with the characters making a porno on the farm of an old couple. It's a slasher. It's very, like I said, very 70s style. The second one.
Wait, so
Pearl,
we're talking Zack and Miri make a porno slasher edition?
I don't know.
I don't think she's ever seen that movie, Dave.
Okay, well, look, keep the cast the same, add slasher elements, have Matthew Lillard come in and be the bad guy, and remake Zack and Miri make a porno and die, right?
The second one
continue.
is titled. The second one is titled Pearl, and it is a prequel telling the story of the older woman of the couple of the farm that the people in the first one stay on. It is a Technicolor, very inspired. It's not a slasher. It's very inspired by like old Hollywood, and people have found like Wizard of Oz imagery, and it's a character study. It is about the character of Pearl and like what led her to being this crazy killer in X. And then Maxine is a direct sequel to X, where it's the it's the final girl of X. She has made it to Hollywood. She's trying to make it to Hollywood because at first she was like, I just want to be famous. I don't care how. So that's why she's making the porno. In Maxine, she's made it into the adult film industry. She's like a big name, but she wants to be like famous. Like she wants to be in Hollywood. So it's very inspired by like 80s, like the video nasties era. There's lots of commentary about like the video nasties. There's a little bit of like that era where like people were talking about how metal music was worshiping Satan. There is
Eight.
a little bit of comment. There's a little bit of commentary about how people treat sex workers, but none of these are like in your face, like shoved down your throat kind of thing. It's the 80s. This is what was happening in the 80s. And the best thing about this trilogy is that each movie is different. It's a different style, it's a different inspiration behind it, all of that. So it's like even if you don't like one, you may like another one. Which and then the connecting thread through all of these movies is just the price of fame and like what are you willing to give up for fame? What are you willing to do for fame? What are you going to do if you don't get fame? And then it also all three movies star the queen, the newest Scream queen, Mia Goth, who apparently has been doing stuff for a while, but I hadn't heard of her until this trilogy, and she's incredible. She is amazing. She got snubbed for an Oscar for fucking Pearl. She gives such an Oscar-worthy performance, but of course, because it's horror, nothing, no recognition, nothing.
If I remember correctly, she's married or dating Shia LaBeouf.
I was say
they've been together for years.
They do have a kid together.
Yeah,
they have a kid together, but they're no longer together.
I was gonna say I knew they were together.
Isn't Mia Goth one of the Sims?
No,
that's Bella Goth.
That's Bella Goth.
That is Bella Goth. Okay.
But yeah, she gives such an amazing performance in every single movie. This for Maxine, it's also not only is it inspired by the video nasties of the 80s, it's also inspired by giallo, which is horror. It's a Italian horror style, so it's like murder mystery, villain in like black gloves using a sharp object as a weapon. So, and then apparently within that style, the ending of every single one of those movies kind of always falls apart once the reveal happens. Like it's because this movie's a murder mystery, and so the ending of this movie kind of falling apart once you get the reveal was intentional. It's just not. The rest of the movie is so good that it's like you get to the end, and even though the reveal is obvious, it kind of falls apart at the end because the rest of the movie is so good. You don't really care that the ending is kind of just like, what?
That's how House on Haunted Hill felt.
Yeah. But I mean, you got to think about like the age of that movie and how fucking like ahead of its time that was.
Yeah.
With Night of the Living Dead, it's like how just completely transcending those movies are, considering how long ago they were put out and the fact that we're still talking about them. That's pretty trend setting.
Still talking about them. We're still making them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've done those are both two movies that we've done. It seemed like a good idea at the time segments on, which our newest one is live on our YouTube channel. Those come out every Saturday. So,
one of my personal favorites was The Hound of the Baskervilles.
That was great.
We should do more Sherlock Holmes from that era.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Oh.
Yeah. So
out of the three, which one is your favorite?
That's hard because I think I want to say Maxine, but like Maxine, I'd probably watch more because it keeps my attention more, and there's like more stuff going on. Versus, even though the performances are so good in A Quiet Place Day One, if I'm gonna watch a Quiet Place movie, I'm just gonna watch the first one because I'm not a big fan of the second one. But Maxine, even though it's probably out of the trilogy of movies, is probably my least favorite out of the three, but it's still so good. It also let me run down the cast of Maxine. It's Mia Goth, John Carlo Esposito, Kevin Bacon, Halsey, Lily Collins. What's that woman's name? What is her name? I can't remember. Crap. But yeah, this cast is insane. Kevin Bacon gives a crazy performance. I love when that man does horror because he has a very,
Elizabeth
very
Debicki.
strong. That's her name.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
I still feel icky about Kevin Bacon from Hollow Man, and it was just a character he played.
The writing of Hollow Man was so bad. Like, the movie wasn't awful. It wasn't the worst, but the writing for Kevin Bacon's character was so bad.
Well, in this movie,
and then they made Invisible Kevin Bacon like molest a bunch of people in their sleep.
Yeah, it was weird.
Like, it got weird. Like,
it did get weird.
Well, in this movie, if I was gonna say if you've seen Psycho, but like I feel like everybody has seen or at least heard of Psycho. The Arbogast character, like the detective who's trying to figure out what's going on, he kind of plays like a character like this with the accents of Daniel Craig from Knives Out. It's crazy and it's entertaining. Giancarlo Esposito also gives an insane performance, but I don't know if it's the performance or the wig he's wearing. The wig.
It's just Giancarlo Esposito's amazing. It's really what it is.
Because he's wearing this wig, and I couldn't stop laughing every time he was on screen. Because God, it's so funny. Yeah,
I don't remember. Carry on.
If that trilogy sounds interesting at all, I would say give it a chance. Even if you don't like X, which is the first one in the trilogy, give Pearl a chance because each one is so different. It's inspired. Each movie is inspired by a different decade of horror or just a different decade of Hollywood, and it's just I love them.
So, for those who aren't familiar with the name, Elizabeth Debicki, she played the Sovereign Queen Aisha in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. She was also in The Great Gatsby. She also played Princess Diana in The Crown. She was in the Cloverfield Paradox. She's been in some.
Question. Since Chris is frozen, do you think we could get away with doing
Am I back? Can you hear me?
Yeah, do you think we could get away with doing Clue for it seemed like a good idea at the time, saying it's a game and not a movie?
Maybe. We might have to look into that. But yeah, no, Elizabeth Debicki's great. That is a pretty wild cast, so I definitely would like to see that. Dave, before we head into our sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say the last thing I was going to say is that this is kind of an Argyle situation where it's like it has a very big cast, but if you're going for anybody other than the main character, you'll be disappointed.
And I honestly really enjoyed Argyle. I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people are only like there was girls sitting next to me that only were going to see Maxine for Halsey. Halsey's in like one or two scenes. Lily Collins is also in only like one or two scenes. Kevin Bacon is in a lot more scenes, but he's still not in it a lot. So it's like it's an Argyle situation. Insane cast, but most of the cast is only in a couple scenes.
Yeah, that's wild. Dave, do you want to give us your honorable mention before we head into all of our media stuffs we got to talk about?
Yeah, so my honorable mention for this week is Daniel Mullins, who is a game developer for Daniel Mullins Games. Most of his stuff is published by Devolver Digital, but he is the mind behind Pony Island, The Hex, and Inscription. Pony Island, I know some about. Just about everybody played it on YouTube forever ago when it came out. It was hard to miss. Like Jack played it, Mark played it, etc., etc., etc. If Jack and Mark played it, everybody played it, sort of thing. And I recently played through Inscription on my own Twitch channel in one 17-hour long stream. Hang on, I'm gonna look to be sure. Almost just shy of 18-hour long stream. He makes really good, really weird games. Apparently, Thor from Pirate Software, met him, only had good things to say about him. They did a show together when Dan was working on Inscription, apparently. Yeah, really cool. Check them out. Also, all 3 of those games are on sale in a bundle for less than $10 on Steam right now. And the first one and the last one have psychological horror vibes. And I don't know about the Hex. I need to play that still. And Pony Island. But yeah.
I've heard of the Hex. I haven't played it, but I've heard of it. So switching gears to actually a topic Dave brought up that I think we all kind of want to talk about. In an interview with Variety, Emma Roberts had a bunch of stuff talking about being a Nickelodeon child star and a few other things. One of which was her take on Madam Web. Dave, do you want to talk about what her comments
Oh
were?
yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna pull the article here.
Yeah, that's what I had done as well.
Just so I don't misrepresent what Ms. Roberts said. But yeah, so she's quoted as saying, "If it wasn't for internet culture and everything being made into a joke, I think that the reception would have been different. And that's what bums me out about a lot of stuff. Even stuff that I've done is people just make such a joke out of everything now." Now, I have a couple of things to say. The internet wouldn't make a joke out of it if it wasn't a joke to begin with. Okay, so I'm gonna start there. But even further than that, this is Emma Roberts grandstanding and telling you that you were the reason that the movie was so bad because you didn't like it. No.
Essentially,
that's
yeah.
not how it works.
Have either of y'all seen Madam Web?
Yes.
Okay, because I was gonna, if y'all said no, I was gonna be like, well, speaking as someone who saw the movie, the internet was not the problem.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing, right? The problem with the movie was bad writing, bad direction, lackluster acting performances by people who genuinely didn't seem like they wanted to be there.
Yeah.
Sydney Sweeney literally did an interview that she used this movie as a stepping stone to get her like more widely known in Hollywood outside of things like Euphoria.
Well, and it helped that around the same time for Sydney that Immaculate came out, and what was the other one? She was in that rom-com that apparently was received well. I haven't seen, but I heard it was good.
Anyone would
look. I've never seen Euphoria, but I've heard she is great in it.
Well, from what I've heard, Euphoria is an awesome show. I haven't seen it. I don't know. I haven't gotten to it yet.
It's a train wreck you can't stop watching.
Okay, yeah. So that sounds
okay.
Right. So Life. Is it just Life Simulator? Listen. I want to start this by saying I have tremendous amount of respect for Emma Roberts. Her talents and her career has been pretty good for the things that she's done, coming from Unfabulous and all of this stuff. But like at the same time, you also have to acknowledge the elephant in the room of the plot of a movie that was totally changed from the basis of the actual character it's based on. And like expecting comic book fans to get behind it when it has nothing to do with the original source
And
material.
that's the thing. And I've had people fucking bitch and moan at me because okay. So, by and large, Marvel takes known characters, reshapes them into stories that make sense for that character, and reconfigure stories to run more with the story they're trying to tell. But by and large, they show a lot of respect to the source material, with one exception, and it is my least favorite thing to come out of the MCU, and that's Echo.
That's, you know what, that's true. They did change a lot of
But
Echo.
They did the same thing to Echo that Sony did to Madam Web.
Yeah.
They completely changed how the character works and who the character is.
I like Echo. For what they did, yes, it totally changes the character, but I think it worked well.
It was still a well-made show. Madam Web, outside of them changing the character, outside of that, it's not even a well-made movie on its own. Like, if the character didn't already exist and, like, we didn't know who Madam Web was, what Madam Web was, it wasn't even a good movie on its own.
No. Here's the thing. I feel like it would have done a little better if they had changed the name of the character. If they didn't even call her Madam Web, like, if they had just done like a completely, I don't want to say original character, because like I don't know if you can do original character, but if you like based it off of a different character or something like that, do not completely introduce what it sounds like a fucking origin story for a character that we already have the origins of in the comics. And I feel like this is another issue with Sony owning the rights to the Spider-Man universe and all the Spider-Man characters and just trying to pump stuff out to make money. And it's like you have set the bar so high with the Spider-Verse movies. Those two are fantastic. I can't wait for the third one. That everything else you're doing now is just not working. Like the Venom movies, I still haven't seen either of the Venom movies, but I've heard that they're both pretty good, and like that's fine. But at the same time, if you're just trying to make Marvel movies without making Marvel movies, why are you like, what are you doing?
I think it's this plan because it's the same reason that Fox kept churning out Fantastic Four movies. If they are not using the characters, they lose the rights to the characters.
Yeah.
Right. So they have to keep making them just so they don't lose the rights to them.
And that's really all Sony has right now. If off the top of my head, I can't think of anything major that Sony has other than Spider-Man.
There's other stuff. I just can't think of it right now. But the biggest thing they have is Spider-Man. And like the Venom movies, they mainly work because of like Tom Hardy. And like even though they're not quote unquote good movies, they're entertaining, they're well acted, they are well written, like,
and they're well put together. Yeah. No, I would go so far as to say they're good movies.
Yeah.
Like they're
But here's the thing.
Movies.
They're not trying to make Venom work as OG Venom without Spider-Man. They gave him a slightly altered thing, pulling from other parts of his story, and they reconfigured all of that what I would consider correctly, right? If you're going to do Venom without Spider-Man, that's the way they did it. It's pretty much the only way to do it. That being said, look at what they did to Morbius.
That wasn't a well-made movie. Like I would say it's a little bit better than Madam Web because at least it's a well-made movie. It's just
except for one of the hugest problems with Madam Web as a piece of cinema is my biggest gripe with Morbius as a piece of cinema. Pick a lighting theme. Just one. Yeah. Pick one lighting theme. One. You get one.
Well, and this goes to the same issue.
I love how Bree's laughing because she probably went, why is this like this to both of those movies too?
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, everything in this scene is blue. And now everything's yellow. And now everything's orange. And I feel like I'm on acid. Well, and fabulous!
This feels like another issue to, like, if you think about Spider-Man 3 or the reason we never got a third Amazing Spider-Man movie. it feels like all of the stuff that Sony tries to make that Marvel Studios themselves do not have a hand in eventually turned to a point where it's like, okay, now we have to stop because we've made this too much. Spider-Man 3's biggest problem is it has way too many fucking villains in it.
It was
And I feel like
overcooked.
it was, and that was because Sony wanted things to happen, and Sam Raimi was like, "That's not what we want. It's not what I want. But you have to do what the studio wants." And that movie's not to fault. You can't fault Sam Raimi.
You don't have to do what the studio wants. You can choose to be unemployed.
Yes, but it's Sam Raimi, and you're not gonna not, because
the problem with Sony is that they're not focusing on the current movie they're trying to make. They're just trying to rush something out to an eventual endpoint that they want to get to. Spider-Man 3, and The Amazing Spider-Man 2, they were just trying to get to the Sinister Six. They were just trying to throw as much in there as they could to get to the Sinister Six.
Well,
Madam
what
Web,
does this remind you of? Warner Brothers pre-James Gunn. The entirety of the DCEU, most of the Batman movies, like the saving grace for DC in the last 20 years was the Dark Knight movies.
That's not 100% true.
But they're widely considered the most popular. I mean, Christopher Nolan did a fantastic job. I'm not a Batman fan or a DC fan, but they're good movies. But everything else surrounding it was just a fucking nightmare. Think of The Flash and all the backlash that had.
Didn't they also do the Blade movies, or was that Fox?
That was Fox. That was
that Fox that
was
did Blade?
Acquired. Yeah, because that got acquired when Marvel Studios bought 20th Century Fox.
Well, right, because so Fox,
bought,
so which I feel like there's a Marvel property that Warner Brothers had. Warner Brothers made that shitty Hulk movie forever ago. That's what it was.
The one with Eric Bana.
Yeah,
2003 one.
Yeah,
it wasn't awful, but comparative to all of the other Hulk material,
no, it was so bad they had him going by TV show Hulk's name, David Banner.
That's true.
The second Wonder Woman was terrible. The saving grace in that movie was Pedro Pascal got a paycheck.
Yes.
Look. I loved the first Wonder Woman.
I did too.
That is the one pre-Gunn DCEU movie that I've seen that I went, that is a good movie. It was a good movie because Zack Snyder had nothing to fucking do with it.
You know what? And it's so funny that the guy that's responsible for Watchmen pretty much single-handedly ruined the entirety of the DCEU.
Yes, but that's because the guy who was responsible for the Watchmen, which was amazing and had the exact right tone for the Watchmen, tried to take the tone that the Watchmen is done in and do that in fucking Superman.
Yeah.
And those are very different properties. In that kind of world, Superman should be Homelander.
Yeah.
Not even kidding.
Basically,
like,
yeah. Well, that's the joke that we have, right? Is that like that level of Superman is basically Homelander, or they might as well just tell the story of Brightburn.
Right.
But listen,
or Red Sun, even, which is a Cold War era Superman story where Kal-El landed in Soviet Russia.
So what did you say, Brian?
I was saying that like DC was trying so hard to catch up to Marvel because by the time that Man of Steel came out, the Avengers was coming out. So it's like they didn't want to. They were trying to get Justice League out as fast as possible without, making movies or even introducing every one of the Justice League.
Yeah. So
they wanted. Okay, so here's, you want to know what really kind of fucked them on that though? They wanted Christopher Nolan to kind of run the show on everything and keep directing Batman movies. And they wanted Christian Bale to be Batman, and they wanted the Batman trilogy that Christopher Nolan did to be part of their cinematic universe. And Christopher Nolan and fucking Christian Bale both went, No.
Yeah. Well, and it's the same thing that we've discussed for years now. It's like the one thing that has hindered DC and the whole DC universe is they try so hard to be Marvel. They try so hard to appease to Marvel fans, and it's like, stop. Be yourself. Do you know when they started being themselves? The Batman, because that movie is fucking excellent. And
yeah,
that
no,
is
that
when
movie's
they
incredible.
Stopped pandering to Marvel, to the Marvel,
and
fans,
that also
and
has.
like, we're going to do our thing.
And even before that, we had Joker, which I know it wasn't everybody's cup of tea, but I thought was incredible.
Yeah.
Like, Joaquin Phoenix put in an incredible performance.
Oh, yeah.
The writing was good. The directing, like, and everybody was like, how are you going to do a Batman movie without Joker? And then Todd Phillips did it.
Yeah.
What do you mean? How are you going to do a Batman movie without Joker?
I mean, how are you going to do a Joker movie without Batman?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say they make Batman movies without Joker all the time. The Joker's only been in two. Two.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad wasn't a Batman movie.
That's true. Yeah.
So two.
And because the Joker bit was kind of either cut out of the Batman, or it was just like a post-credit scene and stuff, I guess that doesn't really count because he's not like a big part of it.
A post-credit scene where you hear the laugh, and then there's a deleted scene where you actually see his face.
Yeah, and he is credited as the Joker in those movies. So we will obviously see that. But yeah, no, listen, again, Sony, stop. Because now I'm scared about Kraven.
Oh, I've been terrified for Kraven because no. Kraven the Hunter is a walking PR fucking nightmare. And there is no good way to reimagine that character where he is not a walking PR fucking nightmare unless you completely remove all the things that make Kraven the Hunter.
Literally, yeah.
Well, we have Aaron Taylor Johnson, so at least it'll be a good performance. It's just I'm terrified of the movie. The only one I'm not scared of is Venom 3, but that's because I enjoyed the first two because it's Tom Hardy.
I imagine we get to a point where Disney just goes, hey, how much do you want for the Spider-Man rights? Like, it's not
Sony will never sell, not while Microsoft, not while Disney's still working with them.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. It's such a weird situation. But again, listen, I get where Emma Roberts is coming from. I understand, yes. The internet and the culture today is very, very cynical and likes to shit on everything. But when the product itself ain't good, you can't pretend that it's the internet.
Right.
It's definitely
when people shit on a game and bandwagon against a game that they've never played because it hasn't even come out yet, or a movie that they haven't seen because it hasn't come out yet, right? And they just dog on it as a whole. But you know what the funny thing? We haven't talked about it yet. We will.
Yeah,
we will definitely get to that.
Sure.
But the thing is with this, yes, they were kind of dogging on a movie that hadn't even come out yet, but they weren't dogging on the movie. People were dogging on very specific things in the trailers.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't a generic, oh, that movie's gonna suck. It was more pointed, oh, did you see this in the trailer? That's weird, right? That's weird.
You shouldn't have people asking questions from a trailer. Like, you shouldn't have people voicing concerns from a trailer.
Right.
Brie, yes.
Brie.
So I thought of a good comparison to, like, because like Chris, I see what Emma Roberts is saying because they did the same thing with like Captain Marvel. Everybody shitted on that movie prior to it even coming out. And they did the same thing with the Marvels where they crapped on it before it even came out. But then when the movie came out, yeah, both are good movies. Once the movie came out, a lot of people shut up. Versus Madam Web, after it came out, people saw even more issues. The
My
trailer's
my biggest problem with Captain Marvel is the introduction of the Captain Marvel character. Because what do you do with it now?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
a lot
she's
of
such
people
a
it's one
hard
of the most
character to
on it.
write for because she can just do the thing.
Yeah, because everybody was shitting on it just because of a comment that was taken out of context from Brie Larson. But then once the movie came out, everybody kind of shut up. Versus Madam Web, once the movie came out, the movie was terrible. It's not a well-made movie. I could excuse everything about like Dave was saying about how they rewrite the entire character, that it's not even the same thing. I could excuse all of that if it was at least a well-made movie. And it's not.
Well, and so part of the reason the story feels so fucked is because you have movie writers trying to write a comic book style character, and that doesn't work.
No, you have to have comic book fans writing a comic book movie character.
Well, then the special effects are not good. The acting is not good. Even outside of just the writing, the villain, every single one of his lines are 80 yard. So, and it's very clear that's 80 yard. So it's like,
the villain literally phoned it in.
Literally phoned it in. Speaking of movies that probably shouldn't see the light of day, they announced Shrek 5.
I love how I knew where you were going with that.
Listen, I love the first two Shrek movies. After that, there's no need. What are we doing? The same with Toy Story. I love the first three. The first three Toy Stories are great. Toy Story 4 is good too. But why? Let's stop. Let's stop. Let's not do this anymore.
So, as a person that owns every single Shrek movie, we need to stop. These two are good. This one I barely remember the plot of. Why?
Yeah, because 4 has Rumpelstiltskin, doesn't it?
And the only thing people
no,
remember
not Wrinkle Foreskin.
Is Rumpelstiltskin and Do the Roar. That's the only thing people remember about this goddamn movie. But yeah, y'all could have stopped after this. I accepted this because it was my first time hearing the Immigrant Song, and I do like that scene with all the princesses. Everything else, I forget. I forget King Arthur's in this movie.
That's right, King Arthur is in that movie. Yeah. The Immigrant Song
my God,
is great.
he
Shout out to Led Zeppelin.
And he was such an annoying little prick. The Immigrant Song's so good.
Yeah, shout out to Led Zeppelin. But yeah, there's a list that that Bree had posted. Let me see if I can grab it, of movies that have pretty much been announced. Shrek 5, Frozen 3, Toy Story 5, Paw Patrol 3, The Cat in the Hat, Super Mario Brothers 2, Aang the Last Airbender, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. All right, so like Frozen 3, sure. Super Mario, yes. TMNT 2, yes. If
those two were
Aang is
inevitable.
Yeah. If Aang is actually going to extend the original storyline, sure. Why the fuck do we need Toy Story 5? Why the fuck do we need Shrek 5? What do we do?
Is Toy Story 5
Look, the only two of those that I think even should be made. No, Toy Story 5. Woody meets Andy's mom's toys. Woody and Buzz.
Yes. Let's not pretend that is not something we've all thought about as adults. What a name. Yeah, I just
no. The only two of these products that I think should even be being considered to be made. And you know what? I'm going to catch hell for this. Danger loves the Ninja Turtles. They're not on that list. Stop making bad Ninja Turtles shit. Let it be a Saturday morning cartoon where it belongs.
Awesome. I heard
I didn't see the most recent one because the two or three before that were fucking terrible.
The most recent one is the one that was
really good.
Written by Seth Rogen, right?
He either wrote it or produced it. The ones prior to that was the Michael Bay ones.
Yeah, the Michael Bay
they
ones
were awful.
Weren't good. Yeah. But no, they're animated now. Yeah, they're good when you're high or
I
drunk,
look,
imagine.
one of those, I'm just saying one of those turtles should have used Krang as a pocket pussy.
But like, no, I can see a point for Frozen 3. Frozen 1 and 2 were great.
No.
Sure,
No.
I'm in.
There's no point after Frozen 1 because you have to. Do you know how hard it is explaining to a child that the reason things are the way they are in Frozen 2 is because Elsa's dead through the whole movie?
Elsa's not. It's not. What? Have you seen Frozen?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Because Elsa wasn't dead.
Oh,
This
no.
isn't the
Watch.
Sixth Sense. Elsa doesn't die. Anna
She kind of dies.
pretty
in the
much
second one. It
dies.
was my favorite. It was my favorite part of the second one is when she freezes.
Yeah, she does freeze in the second one. But like, yeah, I was like, dude, it's not this. The plot of Frozen is not the plot of the Sixth Sense. She's not dead. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I've seen that movie so many times.
If you say so, watch it again, thinking about it. No. She was dead, and then she became the spirit of the North or whatever.
No, you're thinking of Anna. Elsa doesn't die at all. Anna doesn't even die in the beginning of the movie.
Anyway,
I feel like you need to watch Frozen again.
I feel like they shouldn't have made the first one.
Oh, why? The first one's great.
Sure.
But Super Mario, yes, I want a sequel to Super Mario because the first one was amazing. The first
it was
one was
really
amazing.
good. And it's about time we get a decent Mario movie.
So, yeah, exactly. I feel like, again, like we had discussed when the first Mario movie came out, I feel like this was confirmation that they can make good Nintendo-based character movies, and I assume at some point we'll see a Zelda film. Or at least I hope.
We never will.
You don't think so?
No, it would actually be against the Law's Bible.
What?
Let me explain a Bible to you. Okay, so most products, especially products that have been running as long as Legend of Zelda, Sonic the Hedgehog, etc., they all have a document called their Bible that are the things you can and cannot do with the property. And ever since they had Link speak in the cartoon, and he spoke in the CDI games, they said Link would never speak again because it takes the player out of the shoes of the character. Which is why to this day Link doesn't speak in the games. So they can't make a movie unless they want the protagonist to never speak.
Yeah, they're making a they are making a live action Zelda movie. That is the thing that's happening. I'm
here for it. I'm just really surprised because it's against their own rules as stated to have him talk. So I wonder if they're gonna have him be no, but they could just have him never say anything.
It's possible.
It could be like in the games where people just kind of assume what Link's going to say and never actually let him speak.
Because I know the guy directing
that could be fun.
The guy who's directing it directed the Maze Runner trilogy and the newest Planet of the Apes movie. But yeah, no, they are making a live action one, which I was waiting for.
Okay, hang on. Here it is. Some fans have also theorized that Elsa is dead and has become a spirit in Frozen 2. For example, a TikTok user suggests that Elsa's line or something in response to Kristoff's question, "Did you cut your hair?" or something, could be a reference to her being dead and she's now a spirit. Also points out that Elsa would have been at Anna's coronation, but instead communicates with her from the spirit world across a bridge. However, the directors of Frozen 2 have confirmed that Elsa is still human and mortal, even though she has become the fifth spirit. Point in fact.
Yes.
The
living
there is
embodiment of the fifth
also a
spirit.
deleted ending of Frozen 2 where Elsa is just dead.
Aw. I would love to see that.
Yeah, I need to hear about
So
it. I
they
need to see
changed
this.
the ending pre-release, which is why that
Yeah.
theme of her being dead runs through the whole movie. They just never get around to telling you she's dead. I knew I wasn't crazy and had seen that.
Anyways, out of the movies on the list, the only two I'm excited for are Super Mario 2 and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, but that's because those were the two that were kind of inevitable based on the money and the reception of the first ones.
I was going to
Yeah,
say,
I don't know
if the most
Turtles
recent
is
Teenage
hot,
Mutant Ninja Turtles movie was decent, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, it was really, really good from what I heard. I haven't seen it yet.
It's on Paramount Plus, I think, if anybody wants
I
to
believe it
check
is.
it out. But yeah, it's really good. And there's a post-credit scene that makes me very excited.
In what?
In Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Super Mario. I think we've all seen Super Mario.
Yeah.
So yeah, the post-credit scene of Yoshi. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yoshi. News that we don't ever really cover. We don't really talk about pro wrestling on here.
No.
But
now's the sad. No.
It is news that absolutely needs to be covered. Myself, for those that know me, know I'm a very big pro wrestling fan, avid WWE watcher. Bree has discussed her prior, interests in pro wrestling, and there's a bunch of people in the community. But last Saturday at Money in the Bank, the most recent premium live event for the WWE, John Cena came out and announced his retirement from wrestling. Now, it wasn't immediate. He has said there's a lot of exciting things coming for WWE next year. One of the biggest things that has been known, probably the biggest talking point of the last 6 months for WWE, is that Monday Night Raw will be moving to Netflix immediately after WrestleMania in 2025. That was one of Cena's points. He goes, "I've never been live on Netflix before," so he wants to do that. He's already announced his entrance into the Royal Rumble for 2025, saying that'll be his last WrestleMania. It says he will continue to wrestle throughout 2025, but that'll be his final year. Listen, the man has had a 22-year career. Started his first ever match was against Kurt Angle, who's a Hall of Famer. John Cena is considered by many to be the greatest wrestler of all time. Only other person with 16 world championships besides Ric Flair. This is a big deal for a lot of people.
Sorry, I had to.
You have to. You have to do it. This is a big deal for a lot of people. Myself included. I've watched the entirety of John Cena's career. And just not even from the wrestling standpoint, from the human being that John Cena is. It's important to discuss and important to talk about, I think.
He's been wrestling almost my entire life. Like, I saw that his first match was in 2002. So 2002. As long as I can remember, he's been a wrestler. Like, when I was watching when I used to watch WWE with my grandfather when he would babysit me, he was always one of my favorites. Randy Orton was like my number one, but like I loved John Cena too. So it's
Still
just
love
like
Randy.
like he's been wrestling. It's been 22 years. He's getting older. He can't keep doing this for the rest of his life. And he gave a hell of a career. It just makes me sad because it's like, you've been a wrestler my entire life. So
yeah. I will say, I think what does happen before he retires, I feel like if there's anyone that is going to break the record, I think Cena wins his 17th world title next year. I don't know how they do it. And yes, give the man the IC title and number 17. I don't know how they have Cody drop the title. If it's to John Cena, I'm okay with Cody dropping the title just because it's John Cena. But I feel like they need to give him all the matches, the dream matches he wants. Let him break that record and let him ride off into the sunset as the undisputed greatest wrestler of all time. And then you induct his ass into the Hall of Fame. That's how it should go.
And he's also just outside of The Rock. Even to non-wrestling fans, everybody knows who John Cena is.
Yeah, especially if you like the Peacemaker.
But like, because The Rock was like, a lot of people don't even know he was a wrestler. John Cena is the most like popular and well-known wrestler of all time.
Right.
I don't know how you can wrestle a guy you can't see, but which again, I love that he leans into that. Like, he's done so many podcasts and stuff where he talks about it. And he goes, I love it. You could cheer me, you could boo me. I just want you to make noise and show that you care. And like, just his way of thinking, the way he goes about treating people, even people who try to heckle him and give him shit and have cameras in his face, he always gives them the kindest responses and stuff because he's just a good human being. And I think that more so his impact on the world itself, inside and outside of the ring, makes this such a monumental thing that we need to talk about it, which again, we never talk about pro wrestling here. But I think this needed to be discussed.
Look, John, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to talk to LeBron. Because speaking of old guys that need to retire, he's proud to be sharing his son's first year in the NBA on the same team as him. Motherfucker, if your kid is old enough to join the NBA, you need to leave the NBA.
Okay, so now you've now you've put into a point where Chris.
Welcome to the show where the points are made up and nothing really matters. Welcome back.
When my internet works, I can go on this rant. Listen. All respect to LeBron James and everything he's done. First off, he'll never be fucking Jordan. Stop calling yourself the GOAT because a real GOAT doesn't say they're the best. Second.
LeBron James. Exactly, Nugs. We'll get that second point from Chris in just a second.
The second point.
Hopefully my internet gets fixed next week. Second point, LeBron's son only got drafted because of LeBron. There is not a single team in the NBA that had him on their draft board. He's not that good. The kid is literally there for nepotism because LeBron said, if you do not draft my son, I will enter free agency. Literally threatened the team. First of all, you are not bigger than the fucking sport. You know who found that out? Conor McGregor. You are never bigger than the sport you're involved in because it'll always... Bill France Sr., who is the founder of NASCAR, once said to a driver, you will never, ever be more important than what we're doing. This sport was around before you were here. It'll be around long after you're gone. LeBron, I respect everything you've done in your career, but you need to stop fucking trying to control everything because you're a player. You need to be a player. You're not a GM. Your son... All respect to Bronny and everything he went through. Your son is not an NBA caliber player. And the fact that your agent was like, oh, well, if he won't sign if there's a developmental issue in there, it needs to be, dude, fuck off. Sorry, that's my NBA rant.
Because I was gonna say I don't like basketball. I don't watch basketball, but like my mom rants about LeBron James very close to what Chris just did. But if you try to make a like Michael Jordan comparison, wouldn't that be closer to like Kobe?
The problem, yeah, exactly. The first person I think of in my mind, that is even remarkably close to Michael Jordan, is Kobe Bryant and Tim Duncan. Who are
I think
both
of
known
Patrick Ewing and Larry Bird.
All right. Well, I mean, Ewing would be down a little farther.
And
Bird,
Muggsy.
absolutely. People fucking Muggsy would also be down lower, but people forget how fucking awesome Larry Bird is. Like, the guy had his career cut short because of back injuries. Do you imagine how much better he would have been? Those are guys that were good, but I wouldn't put in like the upper echelon, the Mount Rushmore. So Larry Bird,
I don't know. They're in the Mount Rushmore of basketball players for their era, according to Space Jam.
No,
You
well,
realize
90s,
I just named the cast of Space Jam, right?
Yes, but no,
Okay.
but you're naming 90s basketball players that were awesome. But like,
also true.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, Steph Curry. That's the thing with LeBron. LeBron wasn't even the best of his era. Because LeBron was always overshadowed by everyone else. Durant, Giannis, Steph Curry, Ray Allen was even overshadowing at one point. Like, yes,
Pippen.
Do people sleep on Scottie Pippen?
Dude, Scottie Pippen is the reason Mike was so good. Well, and you know who the first person who would have told you that back in the day was?
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan himself.
Yeah.
Because he used to tell people that Scottie Pippen was the backbone of that fucking team.
Oh, he was. He absolutely was. Go watch The Last Dance. It talks about all of that shit. But like, listen, again, LeBron will go down as top 10, one of the top 10 best. But at some point, you need to either fucking decide if you want to play or you want to manage. Because that's a huge problem with the NBA, is the players are basically running the league now, and that's not how that should work. There should always be a happy medium. The player should be happy and the league should be happy. That is how that works. But yes, it's ego. And as soon as LeBron went to LA, as soon as LeBron went to LA and made that fucking awful Space Jam movie, I knew that it was just all going to be downhill. Listen, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. There is no argument that you can present me that will make me think that that Space Jam: A New Legacy was a good movie. There is literally no argument. It was a terrible movie. Oh, the first Space Jam was amazing.
It's not a bad movie. I've only seen it like once or twice in my life. I'm also not a basketball person, so sports movies rarely ever work for me.
It's because LeBron thinks that he's been calling himself King James almost his whole career. Like, when you have that level of cockiness, the greats of sports, Gretzky, Brady, Jordan, like, what did those guys have? They were humble.
Talent? Oh.
Well, no, and okay, LeBron does have talent. LeBron, again, will go down as one of the top 10 best ever, and he has earned that right. But there's a point where you need to stop pretending that you're the best. When you never once,
I agree 100%.
Gretzky, Jordan, never once did they say we're the best. Even Brady played forever. Never once did he say he was the best. Like, that is, you can't say that and be that. Like, it doesn't work. So,
well, didn't Brady
I will get off my
play past what he should have retired, or that's what I've heard. Is that most football players retire in like
Brady retired 5 times.
He was like
that's probably not even an exaggeration.
Brady retired at 44, 45.
Well, he retired a couple of times.
Yeah, well, he retired the first time and then realized how much he hated being home, to which resulted in a divorce.
I hate my wife. Let's play football.
Yeah, and then he basically embarrassed himself because his final season, it really didn't do that well. So, like, dude, you win a Super Bowl, just retire then. Go out on top. That's what Peyton Manning did. Fuck. But yeah, no, that was my LeBron soapbox. Brady won 7?
Something like that. I know it was more than
7.
4.
Yeah, he has more than any team in the NFL. But yeah, that is my LeBron James rant. Let's switch over to Marvel because we have a couple Marvel things to discuss. The first,
Lies.
we got a nice spicy little treat from the boy himself, Anthony Mackie, on Instagram and all social medias on 4th of July. We got a sneak peek of his new suit as Captain America.
Give me link, Bree.
I got you here.
Oh, you got it, Chris.
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say is I put out a tweet when he put out that suit, and I said I apologize for the person I become when this movie comes out because
Yeah. Listen. I was hyped when
look.
Captain America.
I was today
Earl.
years old when I realized he released it on the 4th of July because he's Captain America.
yeah.
I'm like, the 4th of July is a weird day to be grandstanding about your movie.
AKA
And then I'm like,
John Daly. That's funny.
Wait. But yeah, here's the suit. It looks the same as his other suit, but different.
It looks a lot different than his other suit.
I'll say it's a duller color palette. The one at the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier was much brighter.
No.
This
Like
one's more-
the cut with how the shoulders are done and everything else is reminiscent of his Falcon suit with a recolor.
Oh, yes. Yes, it is. He got no pecs. Yeah, he's not as disgustingly jacked as fucking Chris Evans. That's just, let's not pretend. I love Anthony Mackie, but let's not pretend that he's as jacked as Chris Evans.
No. But time out. Also, I would like to point out that in the suit he's wearing, you should not be able to see pecs because visible pecs means it's not properly armored.
True. Yeah, you don't want to take a chest there.
B, that motherfucker needs a cage harness for his fucking chest because he has wings attached to his back.
Yeah.
That kind of need to stay there.
Well,
so there are some. No, it doesn't. Stark Tech, man.
Yeah, he doesn't because even in the comics, the Falcon was never jacked. Like he was never just giant. He was always agile, and I like that they continued to keep the theme of Falcon's character, like Falcon's suit, as like little inspirations to the Captain America suit because it's pretty much what they did in the comics, if I'm right. Like if I remember correctly, it was
his cap suit was just a recolor of his regular costume, I think.
And again, I don't know how good this is going to look, but this is what it looks like in the comics.
Yeah,
and that's
which is what it looked like in
end of
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh, look, an old Mace.
Look, I'm just glad they changed the title to Brave New World because New World Order is a scary phrase that has meant a bunch of different scary things.
Yes.
Yeah, people were not happy on the internet when that was announced. That's probably why they changed it.
You couldn't keep that. Listen, I'm hyped.
We're supposed to get Harrison Ford as Ross, so because unfortunately William Hurt passed away, so they did a recast.
You kind of had to, and I mean we're getting Harrison Ford Marvel movies coming too anyway. So if you think because he's also playing Ross in the Thunderbolts.
Red Hulk.
I hope we actually see Red Hulk.
We will.
I hope
we have to.
Because fuck, man.
No. We have to. Otherwise, who's going to be their Hulk? Because it's not going to be Hulkling or Scar.
Who's already in it?
I don't think. Yeah, but. Abomination doesn't like Ross. Blonsky hates Ross. It's actually that division between Blonsky and Ross that pushes Ross to become Red Hulk.
Let me see. Who's the cast? Because we have a cast.
No. He's in it, But it is,
Yeah.
but it is the, you were cut out, so I don't know if you heard me, but it is the animosity between Ross and Blonsky that pushes Ross to become Red Hulk in the comics.
Well, I'm trying to remember where did Blonsky end up at the end of She-Hulk? I cannot remember. I barely remember that series. I liked it.
He was out of prison, so we don't know.
No, he went back to prison. He did go back to prison.
For what?
For the whole thing. Like, I'm trying to remember exactly. Like,
he didn't do anything illegal.
No, but he did go back to jail. Because he admitted to the faults of helping that criminal organization that he didn't realize was a criminal organization. That was.
Yeah. But it's okay, but to be fair, that's probably a slap on the wrist amount of time because he's like, hey, I helped them. That's my bad. I didn't know that they were bad guys.
The post-credit scene in the last episode of She-Hulk found Blonsky back in his high-security prison cell after having been arrested earlier for transforming back to Abomination, breaking his parole terms.
Yes.
Right, because he broke parole to help protect people.
Yeah.
That's epic, Nugs. The cast of Thunderbolts that we have is obviously the Winter Soldier, Ghost, U.S. Agent, Yelena, which is basically Black Widow, Red Guardian, Taskmaster, Ross, and Sentry. So we actually don't have Abomination.
Sentry, Sentry, or Sentry, Century?
Sentry.
Okay.
Originally, that was supposed to be the Stephen Young was originally supposed to be Sentry, but then he backed out. So I don't know if they have an actor for that yet.
Yeah, Lewis Pullman.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I guess so. We would pretty much have to get Red Hulk, because at this point,
and it will probably be the animosity between Ross and Blonsky that keeps Ross from recruiting Blonsky, because Blonsky isn't part of the Thunderbolts. He's part of the Dark Avengers.
Yes,
which is the same but different group. It's the one that's typically run by. So Dark Avengers is typically run by Victor Von Doom or Norman Osborn.
Yes. At this point in the MCU storyline, it's gonna have Ross as the president. I don't think we've gotten that
checks
far
out
yet in the MCU timeline. But yeah, we haven't really had any news on this in a long time. But we do have a release date. So it was May 5th, 2025.
That's still next year.
That is. We also have another big piece of news to discuss. We got a teaser trailer. I don't even know if it was a teaser. I feel like
it was Agatha all along.
Yeah, so for Agatha All Along, we finally got a trailer. Get the official teaser here.
Long teaser. That was my nickname in high school.
God. Anywho. Oh. There you go.
I do my
it's a 2-hour
little
2 hours.
My list of shit. I'll start including links. My bad.
No, you're fine.
Chat, we're gonna watch this with you.
Another beautiful day.
Surprised to see you out here, Detective. Jane Doe. Found her down here by the water.
Cause?
Blunt force trauma.
What happened to you?
lead in the case. But I can't shake this feeling I'm seeing it wrong.
Is this really how you see yourself? That witch is gone, leaving you trapped in her distorted spell. Claw your way out.
I miss the glory days. She took every bit of power I had, but I can beat that witch again. Well, the gang's all here. Let's hit the road. I'm gonna walk the witch's road. The road is a death wish. Join me. What witch in her right mind would join Agatha Harkness's coven? Not looking for right-minded witches, as it happens.
Sweetheart, you okay? Oh my God! Whoa, what's she doing? Where's she going?
Good evening.
Okay. So, from what I have heard, this is supposed to have a very dark, almost horror movie-esque tone.
Oh yeah, no, it feels very like supernatural horror comedy.
Yes.
Like if The Exorcist was written by Seth Rogen.
The comparison I've heard is that it was that somebody said, so it's Hocus Pocus if Hocus Pocus was horror.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Seems
And honestly,
seems cool.
I know I'm excited to see more on this.
I love Wanda's corpse because that is a very
know.
clever thing to do.
Yeah.
Because
She's not dead. She's not
oh
dead.
no. Though that is very much Wanda Maximoff's corpse.
Yes.
It's just not our Wanda Maximoff's corpse.
Right.
Because if you remember right, there were multiple Wanda Maximoffs in our world at one point. One of them died?
There were
No, we only see two. We see our
Yeah, we
Wanda,
only see
and then
two.
we see the one of the kids that the mom of the Billy and
No.
Tommy that she cries.
we see another one that gets brought in. That there's three of them. There's three different ones, I believe. Because one of them gets killed. Yes, no, you're right. Yeah, we'll have to go back and watch Multiverse of Madness, but yeah, it yeah, dude, that is a smart way to do it.
So many times. Where's there a third one? That is going to drive me crazy. When is there a third one?
Yeah, because they kill the third one.
Before after the second one, but before the fourth one, which
Because
doesn't exist.
she spirit walks into the universe with one of the other. Yeah.
And then that brings that other one back with her when she comes back because she was in it so long it died.
Yeah.
Well, guess I have to watch Multiverse of Madness again. Oh well.
I know.
That being said, even if that is our Wanda Maximoff's corpse,
she's not
it's
dead.
not our Wanda Maximoff that's in it.
Right.
Or was in it.
It's the whole thing of being a Nexus being.
Yeah.
And like her power set is so fucking big.
Why the fuck did she start? Why is she a detective?
So that's the question, right? Is what happened to Agatha after WandaVision? We don't know.
She became a cop.
Yeah, apparently she became a cop, and Aubrey Plaza is the one who takes her out of that. Also, can we talk about Aubrey Plaza in a show like this is perfect. You could not have found a better casting for Aubrey Plaza. I love that we get.
Also, the boy with the big ears, he's fun.
Yes.
Wiccan?
The Wiccan.
Is that supposed to be Wiccan?
That's supposed to be Wiccan, and I've heard people already complaining about it.
Are they complaining because he's too gay or not gay enough?
Apparently, they didn't realize that he's supposed to be gay, and I'm like, have y'all not picked up a comic? Do y'all not know that he is with Hulkling?
This is another situation to where people don't actually understand what's going on, and instead of like learning about it, they just do this.
Yeah,
because those of us that have read a comic book are like, oh, Wiccan's gay. Yeah, we know this. This ain't woke culture. This is shit that's been around since that comic has existed. It's the same people that still bitch about like Captain Marvel becoming a woman. And I'm like, Captain Marvel's been a woman since like the 70s.
Yeah, late 70s, but yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah. And then some people are like, that's not Wiccan. I'm like, it is. They're like, but it's not. I'm like, you see him in the costume for like a split. I think you see him in the costume a little bit in the trailer. It's Wiccan.
I missed that. Now, if they brought Wiccan, I wonder if they are bringing Speed.
They're not.
So we're just going to keep killing off speedsters?
You know, they're really good at it. They've done it a couple times. The same character. Now, I believe we'll get Speed at some point, but I always assumed that Wiccan would be the one that we get here. But again, how do we get Wiccan? Wiccan doesn't exist in 616.
Yeah, that's the whole point of Multiverse of Madness. She's trying to go and find her kid. Because they exist somewhere.
My God. Hang on. Thinking back to What If and how What If Season 2 ended. Are we sure that this is 616 Agatha?
Possibly.
It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be.
Why not?
Because how else are you going to expand on the multiverse? Don't forget, we're about to get an MCU Deadpool movie that doesn't immediately take place in 616.
I know, but it's like if these are like the events of like Aubrey Plaza literally goes to her and is like, that witch put a spell on you, she's dead, you can break out of it now. If it's not our Agatha.
Because think about Wanda's ability to jump between multiverse. Like jump across the multiverse.
Think about no. We're going to take a step back. Think about what the multiverse is. Every decision that you make is every binary decision, right? So will I have coffee or will I have tea? In one universe, you have tea. In another universe, you have coffee. So this could be an Agatha in a dimension almost identical to ours, except maybe Billy and Tommy were real in this one.
Yeah, because there are, obviously, as we saw Multiverse of Madness, there are universes that Wanda and Vision had children. It's not just like that dream scenario that she set up. So and to see how easily Wanda was able to travel the multiverse, it's not crazy to think that that's also the same ability that is held by Agatha. And that when the events of the end of WandaVision happen,
Agatha doesn't
crazy
even have to
think that
travel the multiverse. It could be another universe's version of Agatha who had the exact same experience with Wanda, except the kids were real.
And then they come into this universe, the mainline MCU universe.
Because there has to be some sort of dimensional universe shenanigans going on,
yeah,
for Billy to exist. Period.
Right.
I think it would be a less complicated. Well, I'm not saying what y'all are saying is complicated. I'm saying that it may be complicated to some fans. I think what would be less complicated is just take the Billy from the universe we see in Multiverse of Madness. He figures out, he's like, he sees that you can do this because he sees two of his mom in one place. So he just finds a way to do it and because he literally has magic spells. So I think that's an easier way to do it.
He has the mutant ability to control magic, which is not enough to cross dimensions on his own.
Holy shit!
And if they
Jake,
make
thank
it
you
enough
so much for the tier 1 for 6 months. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, so the problem with that is the power level they would have to put him at is so far beyond his actual power level. It would put him basically on point with his mom, the ability to do that. And then you have the problem of having another Wanda Maximoff power level magic user in the world.
Yeah. Well, not only
which is
that,
terrifying.
But the biggest problem here is, how do you have a character in mainline MCU that doesn't exist in mainline MCU? You have to try to explain. You have to try to explain how Billy is alive, just to begin with, when the original Billy from WandaVision is just a creation of Wanda's imagination and her powers. Like he's not a real character.
No. She's saying Billy should uses his own power to cross over into our dimension and meets Agatha that way.
Yeah, she cut out, so I didn't hear that. There's a chance, but again, like Dave said, his power level would have to be so high.
Well, because I was thinking because he's a kid in Multiverse of Madness, and he's more of like a teen or young adult by the time we get to Agatha. So I'm like, okay, maybe he had all of this time to do the research, to work on his power level and try to do the same thing.
I mean, yes, but like,
I'm just trying to think of the things that's not going to, 1, piss fans off, and 2, isn't going to confuse a bunch of people because people lack media literacy skills.
It's better to confuse people in this case, I think.
So yes and no, Jake. WandaVision is in itself based kind of off of a storyline from the comics, but in other universes, the twins exist.
Even in the comics, like Billy and Tommy, Wiccan and Speed are members of the Young Avengers.
So the
they were
MCU is loosely
magic
based off
facilitated in all of the instances of their creation wherein Vision is the father.
Yes. I'm very sorry about my internet, guys. It is genuinely not been
I
great.
Just like trying to copy your dad is Tiny Kitten.
Oh.
Hello, small.
Squitch, I miss when my cats were that little.
Squitch.
This is Cookie.
Yeah, no, but MCU mainline is loosely based off of Earth 19999 from the comics.
Isn't it the Ultimate Avengers that it's loosely based on?
Yes.
Something like that?
Yes.
Yes. Which it
Not to be confused with the superior Avengers, most of whom are dickheads. I mean, Tony Stark uses superior Iron Man uses Extremis to
Angel, you have
basically
enough.
get people addicted to his
animal.
cell phone service, and then they die if they don't have it anymore.
Yeah. But this is where we're finally getting the meat and the potatoes of the good shit that everything else to this point is building to. We are now fully getting into the Secret Wars portion of the story that they're trying to tell here, which it has been since the multiverse saga started, everything post Endgame. This is where like a lot of people have complained about, oh, well, these movies aren't good, this and that. The build to the story they're about to tell is going to be awesome. It's going to be as good as the Infinity War stuff. So now that we're even questioning in a show that we got a 2-minute teaser on what the fuck universe this takes place is a win for Marvel.
Yeah, no, that's a good sign.
For Marvel.
That's a good sign from a writing perspective, because it's the fucked up thing is it's supposed to get really confusing before the end. It always does with Secret Wars.
Oh yeah, there's not a point where that's not a messy like story to tell.
Because it's a bunch of universes all kind of. What if he comes through an incursion?
Well, the incursion was already started.
No. An incursion.
Well,
that one has already been resolved.
Yeah. There is a good chance because we are going to get a lot of incursion.
Mm-hmm.
It just is what happened. For those that are not familiar,
and then we get to meet God Emperor Doom.
It is
probably
soon.
Probably the movie immediately before Secret Wars. We're gonna meet Doom.
Well, and the funny part is that in 2 different scenarios, 3 actually, Doom has been removed from projects.
Mm-hmm.
Including Wakanda Forever, where he was supposed to show up at the end.
Wasn't he supposed to be in Secret Wars, or was that just a rumor I saw and that people were making fake pictures?
Everyone assumed that Kang was the next Thanos level, and he never was going.
And I've been saying it's been Doom since Endgame.
Dave and I, since day one, we've since we started.
I said the next big bad needs to be Doom. I think immediately following watching Endgame, I was talking with Chris about it before we even started talking about it like this on the show. But after I watched Endgame, I was talking to Chris about it, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that the next villain has to be Doom, and they have to hide the fact that he's a villain.
Well, the biggest
otherwise
thing is
people won't understand why he's such a good villain.
Yeah, well, like our first thought, right? You and I, for a while, we were on the Null train. We thought 100% the best move for them to go with was Null. And then when the Kang Dynasty stuff came out and then Secret Wars, Dave and I were like, oh shit, it's going to be Doom.
Yeah, it's from the announcement of Secret Wars. I've been on the Doom train.
We were like,
when I first heard about
how does Secret Wars end, Dave?
God Emperor Doom and Battleworld.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're going to include Secret Wars, why the fuck are you going to change that?
Yeah.
And let's be real. If Kang was going to be the next big bad, why was it so fucking easy for them to just write Kang out?
Yeah.
It took a whole 5 seconds for them to replace Kang.
Well, because it was supposed to be Secret Wars, I think, was supposed to come out first, and then we were supposed to get Kang Dynasty.
No, Kang Dynasty comes out before Secret Wars. Always.
I couldn't remember the order.
And with Kang Dynasty coming before Secret Wars, really, the one where you're fighting the big bad, which is the end of Phase 6, and you're not doing Kang Dynasty, he's not the big bad.
Yeah, Kang Dynasty was supposed to be before, which again,
But
I
think
I
about
think
their
we
naming
discussed-
convention. Kang Dynasty, Age of Ultron. It's
Yeah,
the
well, that was my
one
thought.
who could have been the big bad. Gets the show
Because-
named after him.
Yeah. It never made sense for Kang to be the guy. Like, because Kang never was like, well, Kang was kind of everywhere and still is everywhere. We were introduced to a Kang variant before we even knew Kang was coming in. But like Harley Keener.
Is not a Kang variant.
Yes, he is. In
Harley
the comics,
Keener is only a Kang variant. Time out. Harley Keener is only a Kang variant if he is the Kang variant Iron Lad. However, after introducing Harley Keener in the movies, the comics introduced a character named Harley Keener who became Iron Lad, who is not a Kang variant.
See, I have read from Marvel themselves that he is a Kang variant.
That's not actually.
It's not possible.
It kind of is.
It could absolutely.
Loki
again,
variants look different because Loki is a shapeshifter, but you know what all of the other variants have in common? They all look exactly like their other variants because they're all genetically the same or they don't exist. They're a different person.
Than Peter Parker, but I think that's just because we had Toby and Andrew.
That's because of Web of Fate shit.
Yes.
To be fair, the movie Madam Web should have actually explained that, and it didn't.
But it yeah. Like,
ironically, that's one of the things Madam Web exists to explain is the huge variation in Spider-Man specific characters because they're all tied to this thing called the Web of Fate.
Well, and again, if you want to talk about Spider-Man shit, it's only a matter of time before Miles Morales in the MCU as a live action character. We've already been introduced
and the
to
thing is,
Prowler. He exists.
we have the Peter Parkers in Into the Spider-Verse all look the same, by the way, with variations based on physical fitness.
Yeah.
Miles Morales looks different because he's a different person. Gwen Stacy looks different because she's a different person. Penny Parker looks different because she's a different person. She is if Peter Parker had been born with a chromosome difference.
Yeah.
Peter Porker is a cartoon from a cartoon universe. Yeah. And so genetics are out the window there. He looks like a pig because his last name is Porker.
Shout out to Spider Pig. We love us some John
Spider Ham.
Spider
Ham.
Well, we are about to get Dogpool as well. So you want to talk about more random
Spider-Man Noir.
Yes.
Who we never see without his mask and could just look like Peter Parker.
Yeah.
If something is not in the first trailer of Deadpool and Wolverine, does it count as a spoiler because it's popped up in it? Well, we don't really know, but it's popped up in different teaser trailers that came out post the original trailer.
What?
We definitely see Lady Deadpool's legs.
Oh yeah. Well, we
also see Sabretooth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's original Sabretooth played by
Liev Schreiber?
Triple H.
I was to say Liev Schreiber.
No. The one played by Triple H, the first Sabretooth.
Oh shit, that's right. Triple H did play Sabretooth.
Uh-huh.
Oh shit, I forgot about that.
But yeah, there's a scene where if you look close, it's just fucking Triple H in dressed as Sabretooth. I'm really excited.
Because we can see Lady Deadpool's legs now. The internet has lost their minds on who's playing Lady Deadpool, my vote. I want it to be Blake Lively. I really do, but everybody's like,
No.
Honestly,
I am going to
let's-
I'm going to tell you right now who is playing Lady Deadpool.
I want it to be Blake Lively, but I know it's probably not.
No, it's Ryan Reynolds.
which would be the most Ryan Reynolds thing ever.
I guarantee you, it's Ryan Reynolds playing Lady Deadpool, and she has a brief cameo. And he talks in falsetto for a few minutes. And then that's
So-
all we see of her.
Triple H didn't play Sabretooth. It was Tyler Mane who will be reprising his role in Deadpool and Wolverine.
I thought he was Triple H. It's another
Triple
random
H-
big guy then.
Triple H was in Blade Trinity.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Liev Schreiber played Sabretooth in X-Men Origins Wolverine.
And he was so good.
Well, it's Liev Schreiber. That's why. He's amazing. I don't... do they have it announced as who's going to play? I know we do get Elektra again.
Is it Jennifer Garner?
It is Jennifer Garner. Aaron Stanford will be reprising his role as Pyro. Chris Hemsworth is apparently going to show up.
As Throg. Please let him show up as Throg.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He's going to be Thor. Rob McElhaney apparently is going to make an undisclosed cameo, which is fucking hilarious. For those that don't know, Rob McElhaney, who's from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, co-owns a Welsh soccer team with Ryan Reynolds called Wrexham FC. Apparently, one of the players is going to make an appearance in the movie too.
I'll find out in 15 days. 2 weeks.
Yes. We see Dogpool, Lady Deadpool, Toad, Lady Deathstrike, Azazel. Wow, so the studio actually could afford more X-Men this time. Oh, that's right. It's Marvel Studios now. Of course they can afford more X-Men. Who else do we have in here? Obviously, Cassandra Nova, Paradox. There's going to be a lot of people. So, as long as
Domino's not coming back though. You know how I know?
How?
No Domino and no Weasel.
Because if you were to bring back Domino, how would you do her power? Domino's power is serendipity. Things just always kind of work out for her.
She's just lucky.
But the problem is, how do you have that be a protagonist in a movie?
Deadpool
I love the fact that
but you can't do that more than once, is what I'm saying.
We're getting Shatterstar again. Yukiya will be back. Colossus, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, Blind Owl, Dopinder. So,
well, now
I love Colossus.
Oh, your poor wife.
Whose poor wife?
Maybe I'll join your boy band. It's not boy band. Special, maybe even lover-like treatment. Yes, Deadpool. But yeah, again, like we
you
said,
should introduce Colossus to Ivan.
Oh my god, yes. Colossus.
Two giant gay Russian men just hanging out and beating the shit out of people.
One of which now owns just about every record in the NHL. Yeah, I'm almost at 100 goals, and we're like halfway through the season. It's absurd. For those that don't know, I'm probably going to start streaming this at some point, but in NHL 24, I created a 6'9" gay Russian character named Ivan, who fights everyone and scores 1 million goals. It's hilarious. I created a backstory, him and his husband, Peter. Ivan, 6'9", 260 pounds.
You
giant,
realize Colossus's name is Peter, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, that's something fun that we'll probably stream soon.
It's my new headcanon. His husband is just Colossus.
Hold on. Okay. Yeah, but I think this teaser for Agatha All Along has really gotten back into the spirit of Marvel stuff because we were without it for a little while because of the strike, pushing everything back, writers and stuff having issues, directors leaving projects. No one knows what the fuck's going on with Blade.
I know what's going on with Blade.
Lee doesn't know.
Yeah, I know. When the main actor is like, oh no, bro.
Okay, but to be fair, how much of him going is him just being able to lean into nobody knows what's going on to be able to keep his mouth shut better than fucking Tom Holland does?
I feel like most of Tom Holland's are PR stunts, honestly. Like a couple of them are probably slip-ups, but I think some of them are PR.
Okay, so there are definitely a few that have definitely been slip-ups, and he has definitely been talked to about them. Because you can always tell when he gets in trouble for something on accident, because in his next interview, he either has a more senior member of the cast, you know, like Benedict Cumberbatch or Robert Downey Jr. with him, or he's with other members from Spider-Man, like that one interview he did with Zendaya, and every time he went to open his mouth, she'd just look at him, and he'd close his mouth, and she'd answer the question.
Tom Holland is... Yeah, Tom Holland is not someone you should ever tell a secret to.
Okay. Tom Holland was Baby No Money, got a Fortnite bag, excited about some shit, and he had to tell somebody, right?
That is so true.
Like,
shout out to Baby No Money, though.
And him being so sad that he lost his Fortnite bag because he was so excited he got a Fortnite bag.
The shit talking between Tom Holland and Anthony Mackie, though, is so great.
Okay. You know what my favorite interview is? It's, and this is gonna sound bad, but like, it's someone, I think Mark Ruffalo, Brie Larson, and Anthony Mackie. And you can tell Mackie and the other actor do not like Brie Larson. And it's just so funny to watch them just kind of be there and be polite. And you can just like, especially if you watch people for like micro expressions and shit.
Yeah.
Like if you're a person who picks up on that kind of stuff, you can be like, man, those two guys hate that woman. Why do they hate that woman?
My favorite was the Avengers one where they were talking to Chris Hemsworth, and he was telling the story about how he brought his daughter, who was too small to ride the Tower of Terror, on the Tower of Terror, and she was like flying out of the seat and shit. And he's talking, and you just see the look on fucking Robert Downey Jr.'s face, just judging him. He goes, listen, it was safe. And then Robert just looks at him and goes, listen, this is your story, man. You tell it however you need to.
Right?
And just Scarlett Johansson judging the shit out of him. It was so fucking funny.
Oh, you know Scarlett was the group mom.
Oh my god, yeah. She's like,
one of my favorites is still I don't remember which year it was, but it's at San Diego Comic-Con, and it's Sebastian Stan, Tom Holland, and Anthony Mackie. And Anthony Mackie and Tom Holland are just going back and forth. And then Anthony Mackie says something, and Tom Holland's just like, oh, well, I haven't seen a Falcon movie yet.
That's funny.
Yeah, because Anthony Mackie said he hadn't seen the latest Spider-Man movie. Yeah. And that's okay. That's okay. I haven't seen your solo movie yet.
Yeah.
At which point Sebastian Stan just goes, like, I'm staying out of that one. Like,
and then I love
did he scoot his chair away from those two when that happened?
Yeah, I believe so. But I love any time that like Benedict Cumberbatch is involved with stuff like this, because he's the quiet, reserved one until it's his turn to throw a jab, and he just drops bombs. It's like, whoa.
Oh yeah. And I would expect no less from Benedict Beaversnatch.
There's one he did with Elizabeth Olsen when Multiverse of Madness was coming out, and I can't remember if it was on Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon, but on one of them, he just starts throwing fruit at people. He just has a bowl of fruit and just
The most
chucks it at
Benedict
Because there's a
Cumberbatch
bowl of
thing
fruit on the
ever.
table, and he just starts.
Throwing fruit
I
at
saw a clip
people.
of that. Yeah.
One of the best interviews I think I've ever seen, or it was like the one of the like variety things that like Google my name or whatever, the Google's top searches. It was Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal.
Okay.
It's so funny. Also, anything with Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively is comedy gold. You want to talk about a power couple? They're both hilarious. Especially she goes, "Happy birthday to my beautiful husband," and just posts a picture of Ryan Gosling. It was like, that's funny.
Oh yeah. My favorite of all time Van City Wilder post. Van City Wilder is his Twitter handle.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Or Van City Reynolds is what it is.
Yeah, Van City Reynolds.
I put his fake name on it. Say it with your chest. But no, he posted, just got back from Disneyland and the kids are so mad. I should probably take them with me next time.
Oh, he talks about in one interview, he goes, he's like, I married my wife. And he's like, I would protect, I would give my life for you. I would do everything for you. It goes, then my first daughter was born and I looked at my wife and I was like, I would voluntarily push you in front of a bullet.
I would use
And then
you
when
as a human shield to protect that child.
Yeah. And then he goes, then someone asked him, I think he was on like Kelly and Ryan or whatever, or Kelly and Michael, I think. I don't know who the hell Kelly Ripa's co-host is nowadays. But they're like, yeah, how old are your daughters now? And he just goes, I have no idea. I was like, oh, that's great. Moving on to our
Look, you
music.
don't I'm just gonna say this once, but you don't have to.
What?
We're getting an ad and I don't know what it's for. Orphan Black Echoes.
Oh, it's a new TV show or
I saw someone leaping out of water and peeling some stuff off their face, and I'm like, Invasion of the Bee Girls?
Oh my god. Which, if you guys want to struggle through that movie with us, that's on our YouTube channel currently, as the most recent episode of it seemed like a good idea at the time. It was
I'm really excited. I can't wait to see Benedict Cumberbatch and Ryan Reynolds work on literally anything together. Preferably, oh my god, preferably they get Neil Patrick Harris in there too.
I just want Neil Patrick Harris in the fucking MCU.
No. I want Neil Patrick Harris for a very specific reason.
What?
He is an actual world-class magician.
Yeah.
And there are lots of magical characters in the MCU. He could play a number of them, right? Yeah. If they were gonna make Wiccan like older, right?
It would probably be
my
MPH.
vote was gonna be for Neil Patrick Harris, because then you have a gay magician playing a gay magician.
I was just gonna say he's already just fits the part. That's funny.
I hate how accurate that is. But no, I think because they all kind of have that same like quick wit about them, I would love to see the blooper reels from those three in the same fucking room.
Yeah.
Fuck making a movie. Just put those three in a room and give them scripts that don't actually lead to anything and watch what happens.
Yes.
And release that as your movie.
Oh yeah. No, I'm
and just call it magic. and make them all wizards of some variety. Fuck it.
Right. Moving on to our music portion of the show. It is time for our songs of the week. Bree, do you want to start it off?
My song of the week is "Love" by Keisha Cole. I picked this specifically just because I always put my music play. I have one playlist on Spotify, and I put it on shuffle. It played while I was on my way to work, and then it got played 3 more times.
That
That is a
is a
song.
classic song.
That's a song that exceeds generations, race, sexual. That is a song that no matter who you are, how old you are, you will get in your feels, even if people will look like, who hurt you? No one.
Yeah. And even
That's
if you
how
don't
I
know
feel
the
about
song,
Bleeding
you've
Love
heard
by
that
Leona
song.
Lewis.
Oh yeah. Well, shout out to Leona Lewis. But yeah, even if you don't know the name to the song Love by Keisha Cole, you have heard this song. And it is a fucking banger. That is such a great song. As soon as Bree said that, I was like, "Oh, that's a great song." Actually, all 3 of these songs are fucking amazing. Dave, what is your song this week?
Hail to the King! Hail to the King by Avenged Sevenfold.
Which has one of the most epic
I can't
fucking
do that
intros.
quiet, and I didn't do it loud enough to be good. Because you got to put some force behind that to get that right tone.
Yeah, you got to be pretty loud because fucking M Shadows, his voice is so.
His voice comes from 6 feet in front of his mouth.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. No,
but yeah, no.
that song...
Avenged Sevenfold. Outside of just being amazing and having a pretty damn good live show, I saw Avenged Sevenfold with Killswitch Engage.
Fuck yeah.
It was a really good show. When Avenged Sevenfold was headlining and Killswitch was the opener. Important distinction. Because that flip-flopped at one point.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yes, for a little bit, but now no.
Now no. No. It went back. But for a while, Killswitch would have been the headliner and Avenged Sevenfold would have been the opener.
Howard left Killswitch, no one gave a fuck anymore.
Right. But, dude, so good. So good.
Yeah, it's a great song. The intro is amazing.
And I'm sorry. Avenged Sevenfold is the soundtrack to the zombie apocalypse. Fucking fight me. They wrote so many. Hail to the King was written specifically for Call of Duty Black Ops 2 Origins.
That is incorrect.
No, that was a different song they wrote for that.
You're thinking of Not Ready to Die.
Yes. Which is also a good song.
Yeah, no, Hail to the King was their first single off of the album. I believe it's called Hail to the King. No, what's that album?
No, you're right. Yeah, but Not Ready. Like, they wrote shit specifically for Black Ops Zombies. And it's dude,
it was the album is called Hail to the King because it came out after Nightmare, which is the last album that
we will have a groupthink project some point here in the next coming week. All right. So, somebody is going to make a channel in the Discord called Music of the Week. And I want to start building custom fan-submitted playlists for LTN Radio based around a certain theme. This week's theme, Music to Kill Zombies 2. The Immigrant Song is at the top of that list for me, too. Oh!
Anything by fucking Iron Maiden.
Anything by Iron Maiden. Anything by Avenged Sevenfold.
Yeah.
Most things by Seven Dust, to be fair.
I've seen Seven Dust live.
I almost saw Seven Dust live. And then I got called into work.
Ooh.
Well, to be fair, at that time, getting called into work was $400 an hour.
Yeah, that's real nice.
So there's no... Because I went I'm busy, and they said, it's unscheduled and after hours. And I went, oh, so it was like $368 an hour is what the actual rate ended up being. And I'm, oh yeah, because I set my own rate. I was a contractor. If you want me after hours and overnight, it's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
Or unscheduled and after hours, rather. Because that gets billed like an emergency call.
Right. I'm sticking with the metal-ish theme that Dave started. My song of the week is "Rain" by Sleep Token.
Okay.
If Foot is in chat, he's about to go fucking crazy. Sleep Token is amazing. I love them. That is a band that I recommend to fucking everyone. If you're not a metal fan, well, they're also an R&B band. So like, like Bree,
Be
I'm gonna be
confused.
real. I feel like if there's a metal band besides Ice Nine Kills that you would like, it is Sleep Token. Because of how their songs are written. I'll have to show them to you one time. But no, they're fucking awesome. This song is amazing. It was actually just covered by Nick Nocturnal and Will Ramos, who's the lead singer of the band Lorna Shore. It's fucking awesome. But yeah, no, they are next level. They're doing some shit that people aren't doing. Bree, your music corner.
So this week I decided to do something different where most weeks I do like a big artist in the music industry and like a big singer or whatever. This week I've decided to do one of my favorite music composers of all time, and that is the legendary Alan Menken. If you do not recognize the name, you damn sure have heard his music, especially if you're a Disney kid. He is the genius behind most of the movies in the Renaissance era that weren't Phil Collins. Let's see.
Yeah.
He did most famously The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Pocahontas, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Home on the Range, Enchanted, Tangled, Disenchanted. Outside of Disney, he also helped compose the scores and songs for Little Shop of Horrors and the 1986 one and Newsies. Cookie, shut up. His accolades include winning 8 Academy Awards, becoming the second most prolific Oscar winner in the music category after Alfred Newman. He has a Tony Award, 11 Grammy Awards, 7 Golden Globe Awards, and a Daytime Emmy Award. He is one of the 19 people to become an EGOT, meaning he has an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony.
That's why he's
yeah. You know who doesn't have all 4 of those, and it surprises the shit out of people. Jonathan Williams.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Menken is great though.
John Williams isn't an EGOT. How?
No,
he doesn't have an Emmy.
He doesn't have a Tony. He doesn't have.
He also doesn't have a Tony.
He has a million Oscars.
But still not as many. He doesn't have as many Oscars as Menken.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Because I think he only has 5, 6.
Let's see. Now I have to do all this.
But yeah, no, Menken's great. I, as a person who loves the 80s Little Shop of Horrors with Steve Martin and, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I'm the gatekeeper. Are you the key master? What the fuck is his name? I can see his face.
Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis. Yes, thank you.
So to correction on John Williams, he has 5 Oscars, 6 Emmys, and 4 Grammys.
So he doesn't
26,
have a Tony.
26 Grammys. So he doesn't have a Tony.
He doesn't have a Tony.
That man has won 26 Grammys. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, no.
Are you Prince?
he's a genius.
Yeah, I mean
But he's very one note.
Yes.
Menken did everything. Listen to the soundtrack of Aladdin and then Little Mermaid and tell me that's by the same dude. Because it is, but it doesn't sound like it. And that's the kind of the genius there in my mind. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
You're fine, because like he's maybe my favorite composer of all time, because like The Little Mermaid is my favorite soundtrack of all time. It's my favorite animated movie of all time, and also Aladdin. Beauty and the Beast has one of the most gorgeous soundtracks of all time, and like he is the man that helped inspire. He inspired Lin-Manuel Miranda So
Mhm.
who's the current king of like Disney music. And they
Right.
even work together
Mm.
to create new music or help change some music for the live action Little Mermaid. And that man is incredible. And I may do Phil Collins next.
I was
If you
gonna
do
say,
Phil
how the fuck
Collins
have we not done Phil Collins musician of
for Musician of the
like,
Week, yeah, no, the Musician of the Week next week is just going to be Phil Collins.
It has to be.
Because my favorite Disney soundtrack from that era is Tarzan's because of one song,
it's
In the Air
so
Tonight.
good. Yes.
Like the whole soundtrack's pretty
Tarzan
good, but
and
In the
Mama
Air Tonight
Bear.
is so the But I
that's
mean,
such a
to
good
be
song.
fair, Phil Collins was also the drummer for Genesis
Drummer and lead singer for Genesis.
and lead singer. Well, yeah, he was lead singer and everything, but I don't think he played drums in his solo stuff. I think he just
he didn't.
sang. Did he? Did
No,
he do the
a
drums
lot
for
of the
those?
solo stuff, yeah. You know, another fun fact of another amazing composer that is also not a member of that EGOT group, Hans Zimmer.
Danny Elfman. Oh, Hans Zimmer. Okay.
No, Danny Elfman is 100% won a Tony Award. There's no question.
Yeah, but I don't think he's won an
Hans Zimmer
Oscar.
I believe he has. Hans Zimmer has only won Oscars and Grammys. He was nominated for a Tony, but never nominated for an Emmy.
But he doesn't do a lot of shit for TV.
Crazy.
That's true.
It's crazy that like the biggest composers ever are not EGOTs, like John Williams.
I know,
Yeah.
how the fuck?
He doesn't do a lot of shit for TV. It's hard to get a Tony if you don't do a lot of shit for TV. It's hard to get an Emmy if you don't do a lot of shit for TV.
So Danny Elfman does, you're correct, he does not have an Oscar. He has 3 Emmys and a Grammy. He does not have a Tony Award. Which makes sense because he does not do a lot of like Broadway shit.
Right.
Although I'm surprised Nightmare Before Christmas didn't win like every award ever.
This is Halloween. This is
I know that
Halloween,
movie is regarded as
Halloween,
one of the
Halloween,
like
Halloween.
it's such a critically acclaimed movie. Yeah, dude, shout
Yeah,
out.
no.
There's a lot of like I feel like we should have just an episode of just us talking about composers because that's something we could definitely do.
I mean, if we're gonna do that, my song of the week this week was almost Moonlight Sonata.
No shit.
Because I will waste whole afternoons on a Moonlight Sonata rabbit hole just listening to slightly different versions of it. Both classical, modern, the fucking electronica. I heard a really good metal version of the song the other day.
Was it done by Trans-Siberian Orchestra?
So they did a version of it, but I wouldn't call their version metal. It falls more new metal or metalcore at best, like most of their stuff.
Yeah. You know who will always be considered metal?
Metallica?
Well, yes, but our musician of the week.
I love how you're like, well, yes, but
yes, but our musician of the week, who is someone I don't think we've ever actually done, which is crazy to me.
Talked about a lot,
and we've been talking about him for years. But Jack Black is our musician of the week. Jack Black,
please come on the show.
Discussing you for 3 years. This is our call again. Please come on the show. We would love to have you.
Maybe we can get you to talk about the new hit single "Smooth" by Rob Thomas and Carlos Santana with us. You know what? I feel of all the musicians we could have on this show, though, I feel like Jack Black would be the most into that bit.
Oh yeah, because he'd probably be like, I did hear that recently. He'd play into it probably.
We can get a clip of every single time that we say Jack Black, come on the show. There's a TikTok video we can do. Just get a collage of not a collage, a damn video of every single time.
Every single
my god!
LTN content.
And then we do a compilation of every time that one of us has said talked about the new hit single "Smooth" by Rob Thomas and Carlos Santana, And we use the thing I just said about Jack Black talking about that with us as the last clip of that TikTok and the first clip of the montage for I'm having a stroke.
And if you guys in chat or you guys listening and watching, if you guys all have incorporated that joke into your daily lives, we're not sorry. You're welcome.
Unlike whenever we watch something on, it seemed like a good idea at the time, we are not sorry.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are not sorry. But for everything on it seemed like a good idea at the time, we are.
Well, for most things. Every
yes.
once in a while, we stumble upon gold, but then also
Yes.
Puff the Magic Dragon. So we're sorry.
Freaking Puff the Magic Dragon. Goddamn. And
Condom
the
head.
one that'll be. We're sorry for this weekend's episode as well.
Is it the one that I was on?
Yes.
I'm not sorry. That is a pile of gold that we came that these I had already seen. These two had it.
So
watch
fucking,
it.
Oh my god.
A bucket of blood.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
a very dark movie, but watch it.
Nightmare.
It's so funny.
It's
chaotic. Honestly my vote for comedy of the year.
Yeah. You know who is amazing?
I am now going to treat like every property just came out. And it's going to get really confusing when we start talking about Spider-Man. And I'm talking about, that Tobey Maguire Spider-Man just came out.
Dave's bit is he's just stuck in 2000.
Okay.
Hey, again, Jack Black. Let's talk about him. Because he's our musician.
Yes.
Obviously most known for his music works as the lead vocalist of the band Tenacious D. Very famous in the world of cinema as well. His roles in School of Rock, Tropic Thunder, Nacho Libre, his roles in Kung Fu Panda.
The Jackal.
He was the Jackal. He was also Bowser in the Super Mario Brothers movie.
He was so good as Bowser.
He was in the newest
teenage girl in Jumanji.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he was a teenage girl in Jumanji, and that was also precious.
Yes. Just him screaming "Yas Queen" was everything.
Yas Queen.
I mean, if you don't know Jack Black, you are living under a fucking rock. I am just gonna say that now. You
don't know who Jack Black is. You can see yourself the fuck out. I'll wait. You can go. Are you gone? Okay.
Cool.
All the non-believers are gone.
Shun the non-believer. Shun. Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, because I just watched a video where Jack Black broke down his career, I believe that he literally got the role for School of Rock because the director was a fan of Tenacious D, or maybe that was a different movie.
How am I forgetting the movie Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny?
Gotta do them cock push-ups.
It's the cock push-ups.
Can't you see? He's the man. Let me hear you applaud. He is more than a man. He's a shiny golden god.
It is such a good
He
movie.
is going to kick your fucking ass. And you know his name is Kyle Gass. Rocking and fucking rolling and fucking rocking and fucking rolling. Okay, I'm done.
Are you? Also, it's so funny to think about people that were in that movie. Meatloaf was in that movie. Ronnie James Dio was in that movie. The devil was played by fucking Dave
Grohl. Yeah.
It's terrific. Classic movie. If you guys haven't seen it, it's definitely a worth it watch. I believe I had the Pick of Destiny at one. Yes. Also, if you guys don't have 7 TV, download it. You guys get a bunch of extra emotes and stuff, and we update that a lot. By update, I mean Zach is always on it. Yeah.
I would
listen,
also,
I mean, you're a big deal at the time when one of your songs ends up in Guitar Hero, which at the time of Guitar Hero, like in that Spain, was if you were someone, if that's where you were. Which obviously the metal is a banger. Song's great. Metal. Heavy as fuck. Let's talk
see,
about how heavy that
I
shit
always
is.
liked Wonder Boy.
Greatest song
Wonder
in the world.
Boy,
This is just
what
a
is the
tribute.
secret of his power? Wonder Boy.
And now
Yes.
the young kids know Jack Black's music for Peaches.
Peaches. Yes. But again, it's
Oh,
the same
hang on.
genius
There is a
that
thing
is-
by Jack Black that I think we have to show. And I
This
will
is the
share my
point of
screen
the
with you
show,
guys as well as soon as I find it.
where the YouTube people don't get to see it.
No, the YouTube
Cookie!
people will get to see it. It's an interview he did.
Okay. Oh, is it when he's on Conan or whatever? He starts playing that.
Yep. He was on Jimmy Fallon.
Yes,
Correct.
it was Fallon.
Jack, I've seen
Yes, that shit's epic. Yeah, that's right. It was Fallon. I thought it was Conan. Mainly because Conan is known for having wild interviews with people.
It's because Conan's better than Fallon, but whatever.
That's true.
We're done with you.
It's so epic. But again, I had
Bree's facing the wrong way and Chris is frozen and I'm just confused.
I'm always fucking frozen.
Are you okay, Bree?
Yeah.
I am trying not to cuss out Cookie because he is driving me crazy. He was being all nice and cute and sleeping in my arms, and now he wants to climb and chew on everything.
How to tell Bree's never owned a cat as an adult.
No. How to tell Bree has never owned a kitten as an adult.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. He wants out, but I will put him in my mom's room in an hour.
Do you guys just not let him roam around the house?
My mom doesn't trust him to roam around the house yet.
But he's a cat.
But potty training.
See, I've never had to potty train a kitten. Every time I've gotten a kitten, they've been already trained.
But an hour isn't now, sad cat.
Well, on that...
mom...
Okay, sorry. Oh, no. On that bombshell, I think it is time for us to end.
Your life!
No. Maybe.
You hear that, Cookie? Your life.
No. Thank you guys so much for coming to hang out with us today. We really appreciate... Why am I hearing all this background noise?
It's because one headphone died and... let me see if I can get this to connect. This headphone doesn't work. Fuck. I have the solution.
Okay. That checks out. Chris is frozen. Everybody, thanks for coming and hanging out. Chris, you can continue.
Yeah. If you guys enjoyed what you saw and you're not already following us, hit that follow button. It's free. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know anytime we post anything new. If you're watching us on Spotify, thank you so much. Give us a follow. Give us a review. That really helps us out. I will post our socials in the chat. Make sure you're following us. We also have... That'll get updated very soon. We also have a new TikTok account. Getting that squared away. If you want to check out anything from the merch store, we have a lot of good stuff on there as well. And not including the kitten. Yeah, dude, kittens don't play games. He did not want to be held.
And look, guys, there's still a lot of research that needs to be done, but initial reports indicate that following is a surefire way to make sure you don't die a virgin.
Correct. If the cure for sadness is hanging out with LTN Media, it's proven. I seen it.
I seen it with my own eyes.
I seen it. Oh my god.
Oh, that's a movie we need to watch again.
Pineapple Express. Yes.
Yeah.
I love that movie. Gonna
Hey,
rock on through.
Show of hands. Who wants to get fucked up and watch Pineapple Express?
That's 2 hands.
That's
sure you
4 hands. I got hands too. I see Bree's hands.
Oh, even Jack is in.
Skella Man wants to get fucked up and watch Pineapple Express.
Yo, what
Let's
up, Skelly
go.
bro? I have a bruise on my hand that I don't know where this came from. And it hurts like hell. Ow. Hey.
Bruise. Yeah, I don't have any bruises today.
That's fair. Make sure you guys are keeping an eye out for the newest episode of It Seemed Like a Good Idea at the Time, as well as some small content from Pucked Up while we are on our off-season break. If you guys are hockey fans and haven't caught up. Yeah. Any parting words from you two lovely people? Sign off?
Meow. Chat said meow. Unmute yourself and talk, girl.
No, I'm pretty sure she just called me a bald-headed bitch again. Yeah, she used sign language and fucking insults me, and I'm like, that's not fair.
Yeah, no, it's I just work here.
Okay.
I was gonna say I knew this was work, which is why I was so confused because I thought this was balls. So I'm like, you work the balls?
I just work here.
Anyway, Bree, hit us with that tagline.
Until we see y'all fuckers again, keep it simple, stay weird. Love you guys. Bye.